That's Councilman Schmidt, everybody. Councilman Schmidt. All righty. Well, I appreciate everyone being here, and with it being well over 6, I'll call this meeting to order. All right, up first is going to be our invocation, and I want to welcome up Pastor Darius Arnold from Faith Coast Church and Academy. Thank you so much for being here. Good seeing you again.
Lord, we come to you tonight in the precious name of Jesus, and we ask for your favor upon this meeting. Lord, we know a lot moves in this city, and you've entrusted all of the affairs of this city to so many in this room. We pray for the strength and the peace and the wisdom of each of these council members, our wonderful mayor, and all of those that lead in this city to make it such a beautiful place to live. Father, we ask for your blessing right now, and we pray for an outpouring of strength for this entire region. And we thank you for tonight. We ask your blessing upon all of these proceedings. Give us wisdom. And Lord, we commit these works and all these decisions to you, because your word declares that when we commit our works unto you, you will cause our plans to be established and to succeed. So Lord, we ask for that success and that favor to rest upon all the decisions that are made here tonight, and just be with us, and we thank you for it all. In Jesus' name, amen.
Councilwoman Aber with the pledge, please.
Please join me with your hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All righty, and with that, if I can get an approval of the agenda or any motions or substitutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
All right, and do I hear a second? All right, with a second, we're going to do a roll call while we get this rolling. And Councilman Schmidt, you want to start us off? We got several.
Yes. 2026.
Yes.
Don't be yelling at me.
26.
Oh, you got it? I got several people who are logging on, though. Yeah, it's not you, it's us. It's always us, it's never you. Put that on the record. Yeah, if you guys want to just... Councilwoman Aber?
Yes.
Councilman Bagby?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, ayes have it, so move unanimously. And with that, I got a bunch of proclamations while you get your IT stuff figured out. All right. All right. Well, we have several proclamations tonight. This one's going to be a little bit harder for all of us to do. So with the clerk's office and Mr. Sweet Baby Ray, come on up here. For those who don't know, just to let you guys know, Ray's not only professional, but he's also a jokester. So I think everyone has a nickname for you. And I've always gone with my favorite barbecue sauce. Awesome. All right. A resolution of the City Council of Destin, Florida, recognizing Ray Bailey for his 26 years of service and dedication to the city of Destin. Whereas Ray Bailey has faithfully served as City of Destin since April 24, 2000. I was in kindergarten. Demonstrating, that's not on here, demonstrating exceptional professionalism, integrity, and dedication to public service. And whereas during his tenure, Mr. Bailey has overseen the accurate maintenance of official records, ensuring transparency in government operations, and provided invaluable guidance to elected officials, staff, and the public. And whereas Mr. Bailey has instrumental in assisting with fair and efficient municipal elections, safeguarding the democracy process, and upholding the highest ethical standards. And whereas Mr. Bailey's warm demeanor institutional knowledge, and unwavering commitment have earned the respect and admiration of his colleagues, community members, and partnered agencies alike. Whereas the City Council wishes to recognize and honor Mr. Bailey for his outstanding contribution and lasting impact on the City of Destin. And now, therefore, it be resolved by the City Council of Destin, Florida, as followed. Do all the sections too? All right. You've done a lot here. All right. Section 1, radical. The foregoing radicals are true and correct and incorporated into this resolution. Am I doing all these radicals? This is legalese now. Good effective date. All right. Effective date resolution shall become effective immediately upon adoption. All right. So I'm sorry about reading the legalese to you here. All right. Let's get a photo. You guys want to move on in? Oh, just okay.
Tamara, get him in front of all of us.
We're still going on. Ray's still going on.
Yeah.
We would like to present you. We would like to present you. Turn it on.
Oh, okay, got you.
We love you, Ray. We would like to present you with this.
A big box.
A big box. Open it up. Big box.
I got this, yeah.
A lot of pressure.
Big box?
It's a trick box.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank you.
Let's just go down there.
We all come down. Thank you so much.
Yeah, he's only given 26 years. Go, sir.
Can I take this down?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Unless Tamara wants you to hold it.
Could you get? Yeah,
You like to say anything?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
After 26 years.
I know, come on. You can say whatever you want to us after 26 years.
Okay, I'm overwhelmed. Thank you very much for all this. Tonight, I wrote down my thoughts because after 26 years, after 26 years with the city of Destin, including 18 years as your city clerk, I wanted to make sure that I spoke from the heart and that I didn't leave anything unsaid. I'm getting old. I stand here tonight with a heart full of gratitude and mixed emotions. I am excited for retirement and for the next chapter, but it is not easy to leave behind so many colleagues, friends, and familiar faces, some of whom I have known since my very first day with the city. Over the years, I have had the privilege of working with an incredibly group of people. I especially want to recognize our city council members, past and present. They serve not because the work is easy, and certainly not for recognition or pay, but because they care deeply about Destin and want to see this community succeed. They have given years of their time, energy, and commitment through multiple terms of office. It's especially meaningful that Councilmember Destin is being honored tonight for more than 24 years of service to the city. That is an extraordinary accomplishment and a true example of commitment, dedication, and love for this community. It has truly been an honor to serve alongside our elected officials and support them in the important work they do for the city. However, the same spirit of service is not limited to elected officials. It is also reflected in the citizens who have given so much of themselves to this community. Citizens who show up, volunteer, serve on boards and committees, speak up, and give their time to make a difference. People like Jim Wood, John Stevens, Marcy Bell, the Weidenhammer family, that's one of my favorite families. You have a father, daughter, and granddaughter, 3 generations all serving on the city's various committees and boards. And I will never forget the late Nancy Weidenhammer. She was a dear friend of mine and was so active in this community. Those of you who knew her know exactly what I mean. They, along with so many others, represent the heart of Destin. This is what makes a community strong. That is what makes Destin special. I've also been blessed to work alongside an outstanding city staff, many of whom are here tonight. I'm truly grateful for each of you. You made the work more meaningful. You made the difficult days easier, the long nights more bearable, and the good moments even better. As I reflect on the people who have made this work so meaningful, I also feel very confident about the future of the clerk's office. Lisa Wallace is your new city clerk. I want everyone to know that you are in a very good hands. Lisa is very talented, experienced, very capable, and ready for this role. I know she will do an outstanding job as city clerk. A little bit more. This city has strong leadership, dedicated elected officials, caring citizens, outstanding staff, the best city manager, the best city attorney. So many people work every day, often behind scenes, to keep the city moving forward. Because of that, I truly believe Destin's future is bright. It will remain strong and successful for many years to come. And while I miss this work and the people who made it so special, I'm also looking forward to this next chapter. I served and retired after a successful 22-year military career, and now I'm retiring after 26 years with the city of Destin. I suppose I have had some practice at retirement, but we'll see how I do this time. Lately, people have been asking me what I plan to do in retirement. They ask if I play golf or fish, and I tell them no, I do not do either one. Some have warned me that I may go into shock from the sudden change. Less stressed, more rest, and every day Saturday. But I tell them not to worry, I already have a very demanding job lined up. I will be my wife's full-time Uber driver, manager, bodyguard, chef, personal assistant, and of course, doing other duties as assigned. But humor aside, I leave with a heart full of gratitude for the opportunities, the friendships, the memories, and the privilege of being part of something meaningful here in Destin. The city has been a big part of my life, and so many of you have been a big part of my story. I will carry these years with me always. Thank you for the support, the laughter and friendship, and the memories. I will not forget the city. I will not forget you. Thank you very much.
All right, got to collect myself, geez. Yeah, I didn't do the public math, but almost 50 years of serving our country and community, right? That's amazing. Thank you. Should we do Destin? No? Okay. All right. The city proclamation, a proclamation of the City Council of the City of Destin recognizing Kayleen Hayes. Haley? Haley. I'm so sorry. Come on up. I'm so sorry. I need hooked on phonics. Kayleen Hales. We'll edit and post. Congratulations. Whereas the Destin Fishing Rodeo and other organizations in the past have sponsored the Miss Destin contest since 1950s, and whereas the young ladies who vie for the title of Miss Destin are judged on their personality, school and community involvement, communication skills, and scholastic aptitude, and whereas Kaylin Hales. Oh my gosh. I'm blowing up here on the mic. I got 3 more times. I'm going to get this right. A junior at Niceville High School was selected from a field of 10 Destin young ladies who all demonstrated the qualities needed to win this title. Whereas Kaylin Hales. Gee. I mean, I got it spelled out all right here. Listen, I'll let you guys know. I'm not the best at reading it in public, so congratulations to you. Was born and raised in Destin and is proud to call Destin home. She grew up going to Destin's beautiful beaches as well as fishing with her family. She has displayed the confidence and integrity needed to carry out the duties of Miss Destin. She believes that as Miss Destin, she could be a good role model in the community she was born in and represent it with pride. Reigning as Miss Destin, she will be our ambassador at many of the city's functions and will become the pleasant fixture at the fishing docks during the summer and the Destin Fishing Rodeo season this October. She will help promote the fishing heritage and fishing rodeo, which are the heart of Destin's community. Now, therefore, I, Mayor Bobby Wagner, the city of Destin, and citizens of Destin hereby recognize Kayleen Hale. It's just her first name on this one. As Miss Destin 2026, I got so many apologizes for you, and wish her much success during her reign as Miss Destin and in all her endeavors and her accomplishments. Thank you so much. All right. And we're starting to give these out, and I'll do the shameless plug later, but it's our Destin Challenge coin with this year being America's 250th. We have a special edition going out, so I wanted to give it to you. You're actually number 2. Steve Ducey from Fox and Friends was number 1, but we did want to give it to you for this. And do you have anything you want to share?
Sure.
Perhaps how you say your name?
He pretty much covered it in this, but I am 17. I am a junior at Niceville High School. I'm going to be a senior. I have lived in Destin my whole life. Some of y'all I know, some of y'all I do not, hoping I get to know y'all soon. And I'm super excited to represent Destin.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, proclamation for National Safe Boating Week. I don't see any names in here, so thank goodness. All right, National Safe Boating Week. Whereas FWC, Coast Guard, Fire Department, Sheriff's Department, can you guys all come up here and join me? All the badges. All right, well, first and foremost, thank you guys for coming down here and spending some time with us. We really appreciate not only today, but what you guys do out in the waters each and every day for our community, our guests, our tourists, just making sure everyone stays safe and having fun out there. Boating's a privilege, and it can also be dangerous, so we appreciate having qualified eyes and ears out there, making sure everyone gets home safe. National Safe Boating Week. Whereas for over 100 million Americans, boating continues to be a popular recreational activity. From coast to coast and everywhere in between, people are taking to the water and enjoying time together, boating, sailing, paddling, and fishing. And whereas during National Safe Boating Week, the U.S. Coast Guard and the National Safe Boating Council, along with federal, state, and local safe boating partners, encourage all boaters to explore and enjoy America's beautiful waters responsibly. Whereas National Safe Boating Week is observed to bring attention to important life-saving tips for recreational boaters so that they can have a safer, more fun experience out on the water throughout the year. Whereas safe boating begins with preparation, the Coast Guard estimates that human error or poor judgment, not by the boat, equipment, or environmental factors, account for most boating accidents, and that life jackets could prevent nearly 75% of boating fatalities. Whereas on average, 650 people die each year in boating-related accidents in the U.S., 75% of these fatalities caused by drowning. And whereas a significant number of boaters who lose their lives by drowning each year could be alive today had they worn a life jacket while on the vessel. Whereas through basic boating safety procedures, carrying life-saving emergency distress and communication equipment, wearing life jackets, attending safe boating courses, participating in free boat safety checks, and staying sober when navigating, we can help ensure boaters on America's coast, inlands, and offshore waters stay safe throughout the season. Now, therefore, I, Bobby Wagner, as mayor, and on behalf of the Destin City Council, do hereby support the goals of the Safe Boating Campaign and proclaim May 16th through the 22nd, 2026, as National Safe Boating Week, and the start of the year-round efforts to promote safe boating. Thank you guys so much. All right. Since it's more of a Coast Guard thing, I'll get you. Awesome. All right, and same coins. So here you guys go. Thank you guys so much for everything you guys do from a leadership perspective. Thank your teams all around, because I know you guys aren't out there. If you're here, you're probably not out there as much as the rest of your crew, so thank you guys. All right. I say this all the time, but when I was 17, the worst thing that a teacher could do is call on me and tell me to read the next paragraph in front of the classroom. So, there's only one way to, break your fear, and that's just to barrel right into it all. All right. All right, so as Mr. Ray Bailey, another nickname, mentioned in his farewell address, we do have another very cool resolution that is not necessarily government design, but more just appreciation and recognition of someone's just tireless commitment and dedication to our community. So, Councilman Destin, can you please come up here? You got the big plaque here. Oh, man. You must have done something good. A resolution of the Board of Directors of the Florida League of Cities honoring Dewey Destin Jr. for 25 years of elected service and presenting him with the John Land Years of Service Award in recognition of his selfless commitment to municipal leadership and governance. Whereas America's municipal government have long relied upon the selfless leadership of their citizens for local self-government, and Florida's municipal government share the time-honored role as the level of government closest to the people. Whereas in places extraordinary responsibility upon citizen legislators, municipal elected officials who make significant sacrifices on their time and their energy on behalf of their citizens, making this commitment a true labor of love. Whereas municipal leaders strive for excellence in the governance of their cities, towns, or villages, and commits themselves to providing quality service, governing effectively, and working to improve the quality of life for all. Whereas the League, as named in years of service, recognizing the honor of John Land, a mayor of Apoca, between the years of 1949 and 2014, a leader who's dedicated his unsurpassed time and energy at all levels of government for a model that we all strive to become. Whereas several terms in office are a high commitment voters give to the officials, and with these years of excellence comes strengthened in wisdom, discernment, and a strong leadership of skills that bring tremendous value to the municipal government of Florida. And whereas Dewey Destin Jr. has held office in the city of Destin for now 25 years, and is recognized for this outstanding achievement. Now, therefore, it be resolved by the Board of Directors of the Florida League of Cities that Dewey Destin Jr. is commended for his dedication to the city of Destin and is hereby recognized as an outstanding public servant throughout the state of Florida. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's a real honor to receive this, and I appreciate that the league was presented it and is paying attention to what we're doing up here. Yeah. That's a good thing. I wanted to say one thing that was also an honor to me is to receive this award in the same ceremony and at the same time that Ray Bailey has received his. I'd like to say that it has been an honor to serve with Ray all these years. He's been a man that has displayed integrity and honesty and most of all patience with the shenanigans that he has to put up from his elected officials, and he will be sorely missed.
And they also gave you this pin. All right, that's it? All right, good deal. All right, thank you, everyone. And I just wanted to take one more moment and say, between the recognition of 25 years and Mr. Bailey here at 24, whether it's through an email, a comment online, a direct message from any social media platform, when I say thank you, but it really is the council and staff, this is the kind of stuff that I'm trying to refer to, and it takes too many words. So the reason we love this community, the reason Destin's so special is quite honestly not only these two, but these two embody the leadership, the dedication inside the city walls and halls, as well as up here on the dais of really what makes this community great. So I just wanted to really just bring it home with, without you guys, we wouldn't be here, and that's everyone up here. But it's so amazing to be able to honor decades of service from the individuals inside and outside the halls and as well as on the dais. So I really appreciate you guys. We all appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, each and every one of you, for what you do. It's a labor of love, like the resolution says, and you wouldn't do it if it wasn't meaningful. So I really appreciate everyone just loving Destin. So thank you. She said no. I think we're going to keep rolling. Yeah, I know. All right, 8:30, 8:40, and here comes the meeting. All right. So we will start off with public comments. Yes. All right, so if anyone here is from the public and wishes... we're going to push. She said we're pushing? Yep. All right, I think we're pushing the next meeting. Yep. All right, public comments, my left, y'all's right. If anyone wishes to speak on anything that's not on the public hearings, this is your time to do so. Yes, ma'am, in the front, and then I'll get Alan in the back. You're on Legion, correct? I am. All right, I remember you. All right, just hit that gray button, name and address. That gray button on the mic. Yeah, there you go.
There you go. I'm Roxy Wilson. I live at 614 Legion Drive and have since 1978. The road that you guys are building behind my house, I have spoke to you guys last time. It's something I feel very, very strong about, having more than just a wall. I brought some visual aids this time because there's no way that I could cut a gate through my fence and enjoy the park, because 614 is right here. This is the road. I'm going to give you all this, but 614 is here, and the road comes right here behind my house. It comes closest to my house than anybody else on the whole thing. And I'm one of the only homeowners left on the street, and I feel like we've done really good at keeping the property really nice. It's my haven. We've had the Zoo Gallery for 46 years. When I come home, Bamboo Retail for 46 years. The one thing I enjoy doing is get in my backyard. It's like my haven. Since this has all started, it's been kind of a nightmare. Unfortunately, I know these things have to happen, but this is kind of what my backyard looks like. And right now, you can see from this picture, this is what I'm looking at, the big, whatever it's called, machinery, which that machinery, whatever you call those things, is right behind my fence. So why I'm showing you all this is to hopefully make you understand a little bit more where I live and why I'm so concerned. Like I said before, my grandchildren come over, they play back there, they're in the pool, and you get a car out of control, it's going to come through my back fence. I feel like whether you can afford to do something stronger through the whole way, but I feel like something stronger than a vinyl fence to the parts that come closest to the people that live there, I think would be, I know it's expensive, but I think we need something more. I would like to see something more of a wall that's built, even if it's just, I know the expense is huge, but I would like to see something stronger that a car cannot come through my back fence. And I also don't want strobe lights with the traffic. I don't want the noise. I know it's going to be there, but anything you can do to cut down my, it's where I live, and I've lived there my whole life. So I would appreciate any concern. I'm going to give you guys this just so you can understand what I'm talking about, and thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, Alan?
For the record, Alan Osborne. What I was going to say, I'm going to stop because I was sitting there searching statistics. For Ray. Ray, you said you had 26 years here, 22 years in the military. I just searched that. Of retired workers who do public service, 0.16% of people who make it to retirement will serve 48 years of public service. I mean, the numbers, whether you're making E9 or O10 in the military, it's below that. It's less than 10% of the statistics of people who reach the top ranks in their field. So I just want to point out what an incredible statistic that is. We can't get kids sometimes to do volunteer to pick up cans or something, much less have a generation that's willing to serve 48 years. I mean, we're worried about which bathroom to go in. So what a fine example you've been to everybody around you to put that. I did 35 years. I couldn't imagine doing 40 years, so I salute you for that. Now, back to being me. Boy, we got a mess, don't we? And I think y'all got a good hand of cards that you ought to play. You do. Because it goes back to what Jim said. This is a matter of trust. And this is an election year, and it's not about doing election things. It's about making sure that government knows that it represents us. And I'm sorry, but no matter what party you're in, we have too much PAC money influencing our quality of life, and you are our barrier to that. You are the catcher. You're to make sure no foul balls go by and get somebody. And so it's going to be really up to small government and grassroots to save America, because we're kind of going the wrong direction. All of us see it, but I'm proud y'all are still standing up for us. You know, I know there's public officials that's gone to law enforcement and want that thing investigated, but it's too ugly. It's like GM going broke. They just don't want to. Don't let it die. I hope you're listening to me, the county. I hope you're listening to me out there watching this show, Drew. You ain't showed your face here. You represent our section of the city. And I'm ashamed of how y'all have dodged this like anything I ever said was false. It's 100% true. You and Paul are weak, and Trey's just not being an honest lawyer. He's conflicted. And it's time for y'all to win back the trust of the people I'm standing here in front of and the people that they represent. So y'all get out of our business tomorrow, or I'm going to come to all your meetings. Thank you very much, and thank you.
All right. Yes, sir. Oh.
Hey, good evening. I'm Rob Valentin. I live on Holiday Isle. I'm a board member and officer of the Holiday Isle Improvement Association. I'm here tonight to get an update on the state-acquired land on Holiday Isle. I want to learn more about when the meeting with Mr. Destin and Mr. Palmer will be held in Tallahassee. The timeline has expired, and I would like to see where this stands. I unfortunately was unable to attend the last Okaloosa BCC meeting as I was in Ireland on a trip with my wife, for which I'm an unapologetic husband. We had a great time. However, I did make time in our travels to watch the meeting live from my hotel room. I may or may not have had a glass of Guinness in front of me while I did so. But at the end of the meeting, Mr. Palmer expressed that he has a fiduciary duty to all residents of Okaloosa County, and he was merely trying to meet those fiduciary obligations when negotiating with the city. He went on to express his desire for the city to open up for free not just the Noriego Point parking, but all paid parking in the city of Destin to all residents of Okaloosa County. I do not know how much parking revenues are for the city, nor do I know how much of that is generated from Okaloosa County residents not living in Destin, and I would be interested in knowing this to see what his proposal would cost the city. Regardless, I encourage you to reject that proposal. He will fulfill his fiduciary duty to the county residents by simply voting to turn over the management of the park to the city and thus removing the $5 million obligation that the county has committed to the state. Anything more than that is just simple escalation. In closing, I applaud you all for your attempts to negotiate with the county, but it takes two parties to be willing participants and for both to negotiate in good faith. You're doing your part, and it appears 2 of the 5 board members of the Okaloosa County Board are doing so as well. However, it takes 3 of the 5, and I don't see the other 3 being forthcoming or negotiating in good faith. Stay strong. We continue to support you all in your efforts to keep the area pristine and under conservation, and thank you all for what you do for the city.
All right, thank you. All right, Marcy. All right, Ms. Fitzpatrick.
Good evening, Good evening, Mayor, council members. Joe Fitzpatrick, 3879 Indian Trail. As you're aware, we're 25% of the way through temporary easement and study on the drainage corridor on Indian Trail. What I've done tonight is just put together a real quick, short visual to sort of give perspective of the whole entire area. So all this information comes directly from the city's documentation as well as published documents that we walk through. So let's go down memory lane. So if you look at the historical topography maps of Destin, look at everything that's out there, you see simply diffused sheet flow. You have some scattered wetlands, uplands, and then also you have Holly Branch boundary defined as a boundary, but no real defined channel or anything historically. Next comes the infrastructure. You insert an airport and a runway. You have significant elevation changes, grading occurs. You install Indian Trail, and you install a 36-inch culvert to release the upward waterway. Then comes the subdivisions. You take Indian Woods. You have clear drainage plans that clearly outline the water directed to this culvert. Then comes Indian Trail Estates. Same water drainage directed over to the culvert. Collectively, you have over 90 homes, greater than 50% impervious surfaces. Couple that with 50-plus acres of basin and subbasin. So take those subdivisions, have all the homeowners complain with the drainage. You have city council meetings, hundreds of thousands of dollars are spent to put piping directly to the culvert. You have airport outfall defined in airport stormwater plans directing the same. And then let's put in a sidewalk. Let's put in curb and gutter. Let's route all the water 400 linear feet all the way through. Everything directed to the curb. And then you collectively through that area, you have 8 MS4 outfalls documented in the own city's stormwater. So what do you have? You basically have I can't read. I don't have it in front of me. You have significant upward conveyance. You have node 167, which is in the stormwater plan, basically eroding lateral migration of a creek over time, over period, which comes down to node 168, which is in the direct city stormwater plan. 18,000 gallons per minute is the peak flow. For perspective, that is 4 times the Main Street Indian Trail project that the city completed most recently, 4 times. Collectively, you have lost parcel, you have erosion, lateral migration, you have expanded wetlands, and then you have what is considered to be potentially usability of land. So with that, all the documentation's there. As you work through the study, I just thought it was important to make sure that the information's there. Not sure how much more has to be reviewed, but I think it's time for resolution. So I would appreciate tonight just a progress update where we're at for the first 2 weeks, as well as what's expected over the next 2 weeks. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Very creative. All right, anyone else, public comments? Yes, sir.
Josh Dooley, representing AutoWorks Towing and Recovery. Good evening, guys. Today, we're doing something with this resolution, but I just wanted to be straightforward. We're not asking for more money because we want more profit. The cost of living, the cost of insurance and everything, I provided everybody in an email format an infographic that shows, you know, diesel fuel right now, which most of our trucks run off, are at $5.19 a gallon. Some places are higher here, even when we do the rebates or the service programs. That's a 61% increase since just in the last 12 months, not even since we've raised the rates before. Labor costs for qualified drivers, that's up 35% cumulatively. Then these aren't projections. This is what we're faced with every day, you know, to keep people, qualified people. Commercial property taxes, we have the highest effective property tax rate in Okaloosa County. They've increased 40% since 2022 when we last raised these fees. The cost of living has risen 24% since 2022 when we raised these fees. So the rates that we're proposing to increase for towing is they're structured. They're very specific. There's no questions. It's not confusing for anybody anymore. In fact, in what I sent you guys, we outlined it so well that it's pretty basic when somebody can look at it. You know, and we're the ones that are out there at 2 a.m. in the rain. Every so many years, the snow. You know, cleaning up these accidents and getting the roads open. And so I just want you to consider that as you're looking at what we proposed to you guys. Thank you.
Sir, when did you send that, and to who did you send it to?
I sent that, effectively, I asked the city manager or somebody here the other day, because when I sent it to your email, it bounced back to me.
Me personally?
To your City of Destin email.
I seem to never get email from you. That's why.
So yeah, I don't know. So maybe, I don't know if you guys have an IT guy or what, but I did send that to everybody on at least on the list of the websites.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, anyone else?
Good evening, everyone. Stan Nikolov, representing Destin Tow Brothers. I would like just to say a few things. I'll be very short this time. First, I would like to say that in the last month and a half, I've been here, 3 times now, and I've been living in Destin since 2007. Just basically in the last month and a half, I've been here more often than all that time. I appreciate what you guys do for the city. Mr. Bailey, as well, what you did for the city is incredible. I'm not going to go into details this time as far as what does it cost to operate a toll service. I think the county already have done that. They did that in the last few years. They did a very, very deep research, and they came up with those rates that are currently established for the county. The only thing that I believe you guys should be discussing and you should be voting for is whether there should be a difference between the rates in Destin, Fort Walton, and Craigville. If there is a common sense and if there is a reason for us to be asking to have higher rates based on the cost of operation and running a business in Destin compared to Craigville, Fort Walton, or even Niceville. And that's pretty much the bottom of it. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, anyone else? All right, seeing none, we'll close the public comments, and we will get into the consent agenda. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
The motion and a second. No, not see any further discussions. We will call the vote. All right, Morgan and Hebert. There you go. She's signing on. Everything went to sleep. It took a while. All right, 7-0, so moved. All right, Mr. Bossman Jones, happy birthday.
Sir, good evening.
And our
Ms.
city
Kopp's
manager is here on his birthday. That's how dedicated you are.
what we do. Ms. Kopp is going to take item 4A, please.
I think Tamara did the same thing.
Thanks, Dr. Jones. So this is an update on the state-acquired lands next to the city's Noriego Point Park, and also consideration of Resolution 2026-13 for protection of shorebirds. And before I get into the status, we have some guests here from Audubon, Florida, that I believe would like to speak with you. Do you all want to come up?
Great. All right, so just hit that gray button, or if you want to grab the mic. I don't know if you're both going to talk.
Press the gray button. Okay.
Perfect, yep. There you go.
Perfect, it's on.
Do you need name and?
Sure, yes, please.
My name's Colette Luza. I am the Audubon Program Manager.
My name is Brian Camerano. I'm the Shorebird Stewardship Coordinator.
So on behalf of Audubon, Florida, we would like to thank the City of Destin for considering this resolution on supporting the protection and preservation and management of the imperiled beach nesting birds that have chosen to nest on Noriego Point. Audubon's mission is to protect birds in the places they need, and we are excited to see the city's commitment to promoting environmental stewardship, ecological resilience, and responsible use of public land for the present and future generations. Black skimmers and least terns currently nesting there depend on quiet, undisturbed stretches of beaches to forage, nest, and rest. These birds are aerial fishers that rely on the same productive coastal waters that have earned Destin its reputation as the world's luckiest fishing village. As Florida's population continues to grow and coastal development increases, open sandy beaches along these emerald waters become increasingly important. Even small localized protections can make a meaningful difference during nesting season when the birds are especially vulnerable while raising their young. Actions that help maintain suitable nesting habitat contribute directly to the long-term stability of these populations.
Public education and community awareness surrounding these sensitive nesting areas and seasonal wildlife protections are also critical. Through Audubon, Florida's Share the Shore initiative, we look forward to helping promote stewardship within the community while closely monitoring nesting activity throughout the summer. We are grateful for the support of the City of Destin and the local community in taking steps to protect these birds and help keep our coastal habitats functioning for wildlife. We look forward to continuing to work together to conserve these species for years to come. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Ms.
Thank you
Kopp?
so much for coming.
Thank you for being here.
Okay, and Tamara, do you want to push that button?
And then, yeah,
We're not done. If you could just, yeah, because it gets a little feedback. So at this point, I would like to read the title of Resolution 2613. This is a resolution of the City Council of the City of Destin, Florida, supporting the protection, preservation, and management of shorebird habitat on and around the city's Noriego Point Park and adjacent state-owned lands, supporting the efforts of the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission and Audubon, Florida, to protect shorebirds, supporting the promotion of shorebird conservation practices, public education, and habitat stewardship, providing for findings of fact, directing transmittal of this resolution to the state of Florida, and providing for an effective date. And Council, as you consider this resolution, just note that, as I mentioned at the prior meeting, FWC did reach out to us as well as Audubon, Florida, with respect to protection of the shorebirds in this area. It has become a sensitive nesting area, and as you know, Noriego Point Park is already held by the city in future land use and zoning that is conservation, and staff strongly recommends the same future land use and zoning for the new land, newly acquired state-owned land. So with that, I'll let you consider Resolution 2613.
sorry, Kim, can you read that again?
Do you want to adopt the resolution?
Yes, yeah, of course. Do you need me?
Need a motion with respect to the
Sorry,
resolution.
sorry. I had someone talking to me. Listen, I had someone talking to my ear. All right, so I have Councilwoman Trammell with the motion, Councilwoman Aber with the second for the resolution. Any further discussions?
Just a moment, Mayor. Yeah, I would suggest that we amend the resolution to invite the county to enter into a joint resolution with us to protect the shorebirds. The shorebirds have always been nesting here. The only time they stopped is when heavy construction was going on out there. When I was 5 years old, we would go over there and the birds were nesting by the hundreds, if not thousands. So we need to go back to the way it was, since it's now been acquired by the state. And I would think the county, who have expressed an issue in being involved in this property, would also be supportive of our attempt to support the nesting birds. And what would be the proper, just to amend the resolution to invite, or?
I would suggest if you support the resolution to pass it, and then you could do a separate motion to request that the county passes one in support. We could even give them our form.
Sounds good. We'll do that after it passes, hopefully.
All right, and with that, I have a motion and second, and I will call the vote. And I did want to just throw on record, I got Nick Vital from Northwest Regional Shorebird Biologist with FWC. I went on their site and just asked for some confirmation, and there are 4 nesting sites or breeding nest sites out there that are Tier 1 and Tier 2. One being that 4 acres, and then 3 other sites nearby. So they have confirmed that by this April, there's several sightings or several nesting and breeding sites, and there's a lot of things that go with that we'll need to do to protect them all. So thank you for that. All right, Councilman Destin. All right, ayes have it, so moved. Councilman Destin, would you like to make your motion to move this?
Yes, I'll move that we invite the county to enter into a joint resolution with us on this bird nesting issue.
Second.
All right, I have a
And
motion.
I would also move that we send the mayor and the city manager and the city attorney to the meeting tomorrow to invite them to participate with us.
Awesome. Oh, well, I appreciate that. I'll be there.
We will be happy to attend and make that request of the county. And just for the public and for the record, the meeting is tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. at the Okaloosa County Administration Complex in Shalimar in the BCC chambers.
Awesome. Thank you for that. With my motion from Councilman Destin, seconded by Councilman Bagby, seeing no further discussions, we'll call that vote. All right. Ayes have it, so moved, 7-0.
Okay, and then I think you all already know this, but the meeting between Councilmember Destin and Commissioner Palmer that was scheduled for April 30th was canceled, and then they were supposed to meet between May 12th and 15th when the session was reconvened. That didn't happen either. So I don't know if Councilmember Destin has anything to add, or...
I've been assured by our representatives in Tallahassee that the meeting will take place. We just don't know when, because they are having a terrible time passing a budget, it appears, and are still there. So I hope next week they will give us a time.
That's it. Thank you.
Great. All right, so before we have the Arbor Day people back and all that, so I didn't know if it would be best now or if we wanted to put these two together, this next issue, or...
Yeah, we're going to look at B and C
That's
together.
what I was going to say. Let's keep
absolutely.
the topics
Yes, sir.
together, and then we'll interject.
Yeah.
Okay.
So item 4B is...
Oh, yeah, Councilman Schmidt.
Yeah, so when we go to this meeting tomorrow, is it the city of Destin's position to tell the county that the timeline has expired and we're asking them again to support a resolution and turning over the lease to the city of Destin?
I think the motion that I made was to the bird issue only. I think they know our position on the resolution. And in fact, it's not the county or us that have caused the delay. I think it's simply the budget process.
But these are the same state legislators that signed in the budget amendment at midnight before the budget was done to purchase the property, and the same legislators that are also, related to the donors of the property when he sold it. Are these the same legislators we're talking about?
I don't know how the individual legislators voted on this issue, but,
Okay.
they have said that they will have a meeting for us with the Secretary of the DEP. I expect that they will do that.
Okay. So we as individuals can go to that meeting tomorrow to?
Yes, of course.
speak?
It's noticed for 2 or more council members to attend. Anyone can speak during public input. We're not on the agenda, but typically we fill out the speaker card and then we speak during public input.
So at the previous commissioners meeting, the city of Destin was represented by most folks here and these two with a request to have the lease be given to the city of Destin. Are we not going to be vocalizing that as the city of Destin tomorrow?
That is an outstanding request. We passed a resolution, you all adopted it, and the BCC is aware that that is our request, as are the state reps. So if you want to reiterate that request, you're welcome to.
So it's accurate to still say that the city
Yes.
of Destin is?
Oh, absolutely. Until council rescinds that resolution, your position is you would like to lease and manage the park and have that be done by the city, not the county.
All right, Councilman Bagby?
Yeah, so if they don't have an agenda item and we're just speaking in the public input part, either at the beginning and or at the end, what is it we're going there to do, I guess? To
Going
Kevin's
there
question.
to ask them for the joint resolution on the birds per Councilmember Destin's
Okay.
motion. And then I'm just answering Kevin's question. If he wants to add a reminder about the other resolution, he's welcome to. But our main stance is to ask for protection of the shorebirds.
Okay.
And again, this is the city staff recommending that that property be maintained as conservation, and this is yet another reason.
Okay.
All right. Larry.
Item 4B and 4C we're going to discuss together. 4B regarding the 4th of July fireworks. If we're interested in pursuing or continuing with the fireworks display on the 4th of July, we would need to execute an extension to our continuing service agreement with the Pyro Shows, Inc., who we have a contract with. However, to utilize that contract annually, we have to do and execute an extension to that agreement for the year. So we've not done that, so we're not compelled under that contract to hold a fireworks show. So absent action by council, again, we're not compelled to do that. There's been some discussion that perhaps we would rather have a drone show, particularly considering we just passed a resolution to protect the shorebirds, and the fireworks show requires an incidental take permit in case we do call in injury or harm or death to any of those birds. And that's about a $9,000 permit. So if we decide to do the drone show, which I know the mayor has done some work on, and it's still viable to move in that direction if we chose to. We can certainly, if the council wants to do fireworks, we can do that. That we would ask for your action to direct us to bring back a recommendation at the next meeting regarding that drone component of the show. There's $40,000 in the budget for the fireworks show that we could certainly move and apply to a drone show if we so desired. There's also an additional $10,000 in the budget that the Parks Foundation has agreed to try to raise money to supplant those dollars. And there's another $7,000. We had already engaged a firm to move forward with that incidental take permit, but we put them, pumped the brakes on that. So there's about $7,000 available there as well. So between the $40,000, the $10,000, and the $7,000, there's about $57,000 that does not take any budget amendment to move forward into a drone show if that's what council so chose to do.
All right, Councilwoman Aber.
So just to clarify, the cost of the drone show is pretty much kind of the same price as it would be for the fireworks, probably just a little small difference in pricing, but also friendly to our birds that we're trying to take care of, as well as the residents and those that have talked about PTSD.
I think that's accurate, but I'll certainly defer to the mayor. He's had more discussions on the costs and some of those things, and that he can give you a better answer. But
Yeah, I
think that's
appreciate that. And back to Nick with Northwest Florida Regional Biologist here for FWC. I'm just going to read the one line here. Drone light shows, okay, any activity that occurs within 300 feet from an active breeding site has the potential to cause take, and as outlined above, events with loud noises, such as fireworks, will need at least 0.75 miles from the active breeding sites or roosting sites. While they do not have specific guidance on drone shows, I would recommend, so basically, without getting into the noise, and I can get this over to Lisa to send out to council, we just need to launch the drone 600 feet away, and when they're in the air, stay 300 feet away. And the noise, lights, all that is mitigated without no take of the permit. So the short answer is much easier. With drones, we need 600 feet. With fireworks, we need nearly a mile.
And also with the fireworks, we have to buy, what did you call it, like a $9,000 permit in case we kill the birds?
incidental take permit. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Any other questions?
Yeah.
Please.
Are we talking about an either or are we talking about a combined?
I would think an either or, either the drone show or the fireworks show.
All right. Councilman Morgan, then Destin.
Thank you. Yeah, we tried to ban fireworks. If we don't do fireworks for the 4th of July out of respect for the birds, and nobody can say that I want to support it in theory, because in 2016 we tried to ban fireworks on every day except 4th of July and New Year's Eve. And so we can cancel fireworks for 4th of July in lieu of drones. And that will certainly be helpful. The issue is we have fireworks twice a week, I think, in the city of Destin, otherwise, and I don't think they take off more than 0.75 miles away from the nesting site. So the question I would have, are the people responsible for those fireworks paying the incidental take fee of $10,000 every time they do fireworks? And then also, every one of my neighbors and everyone in Destin does fireworks as well on the 4th of July. And so I don't know if disingenuous is the right word, but if we're not going to take action on the fireworks that happen twice a week, 6 months a year in this town, I'm not sure canceling 4th of July fireworks from the city is going to achieve the result that we're looking for to protect the shorebirds.
Yep, and I'll answer both of those. So these new guidelines that the IBNB, the Imperiled Beach Nesting Birds, the new guidelines came out October 1 of 2024. From there, part of that is this new loud noise and performance, which is 0.75 miles away from the birds. So the majority of Destin would be outside that range. Most of Holiday Isle would not, and some of West Destin, north of the harbor, would not. Outside of that, the other part, oh man, where were we? I would say that's the main.
Emerald Grand fireworks.
Yeah, and Emerald Grand. I have a public records request out to see who in the county has taken out this permit. I think with it being a newer guidelines, and it seems like they're coming into more compliance, education compliance now, that with this kind of getting ruffled up, they're definitely going to be looking into it. And to answer your question, that public record request will come back to give you a definite. But I think, unfortunately or fortunately, I'm not against or for fireworks. But to your point, that $9,000 is per show during their nesting season, which is April way through summer. I think it was August, yep. Yeah, April to August. So I think New Year's seems to be outside their window, so no big deal there, unless we just want to take a strict no fireworks stance. But to your disingenuous point, I think it's really about, if we're going to protect these birds and we're going to really try to help these endangered birds out that are also locals, that we need to do everything we can to make that happen. So I'm hoping that both the public and the private sectors that put on shows will lean this way.
Yeah, I'm not sure the private sector will be a real cooperative community partner in, eliminating fireworks. If they're forced to pay a $10,000 fee every time they want to launch, that would certainly change the calculus. But, I think if the city wants to sort of go down that road again, in terms of at least eliminating fireworks during the nesting season, I'd entertain that. But absent of that, I'm not sure I would support it.
Thanks, Mayor. Do we have a way to find out if the non-city fireworks presenters are paying that $9,000 fee?
Is that
I mean,
your
is there-
request for your public request?
That public request is
Well,
good.
I can tell you they're not paying it right now because they wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
I don't think they would be.
Yeah, I haven't asked them. I just figured I'd just go to the public records, and that way there's no he said, she said.
Okay, thank you.
All right. And so back to, I guess, Councilman Bagby's point, fireworks or drones. Councilwoman Trammell?
I was just going to say that I happen to agree with Councilmember Morgan because I have ospreys and herons and all kinds of birds nesting in the trees in my backyard. And yes, my neighbors do put off their fireworks. And yes, it does, those birds squawk all over the place. But I think we need to be looking into something like that. If we're going to do it for us, it needs to be for all.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Councilman Destin?
The question is, can we have the fireworks show for the 250th anniversary of the country and protect the birds? I know that we used to always launch the fireworks from barges that were located away from Noriega Point. Do we have any idea where they're being launched now, where they plan to launch them this year? And can we require that they be launched on a barge that is the requisite distance from?
Defer to Ms. Lisa.
Yeah, and I'll just answer the barge question. Right now, every corner of East Pass is covered with birds, and I got that confirmed when I was kind of trying to read off quickly the locations. So we basically have a complete red zone over all 4 quadrants of East Pass. So it would have to be 0.75 miles away from there. So yeah, it'd either be in the bay or farther out in the Gulf as just alternatives.
Okay, well, that's an interesting explanation. You would propose that if fireworks are held anywhere within that area, we would pay the $9,000. The point I'm making is we only have control over what happens in Destin.
Mm-hmm.
Noriega Point is our area that we're trying to protect. If we launched them from a barge that was 3/4 of a mile away, we would accomplish that goal and not cancel a firework show. And is it possible to do that? And where are we launching them from, and where did we launch them from last year?
We are launching them on the West Jetty on the Eglin property, which we have been for the last 30 years, maybe 20.
Yeah.
But barge, yes, you can launch from a barge. We don't have a barge, one, right now. The shells are smaller that would be shot, the shells off of a barge would be smaller than what we shoot off land.
Okay, so if we're launching from over there, what is the distance from the West Jetty to our nesting area on Noriega Point?
I'm not sure on that.
We could find out,
Mhm,
right?
yes.
So if we get outside the 3/4 mile, then we have accomplished and don't have to have the permit. Is that correct, or is that just speculation?
That's what they're saying on the email, is
Yeah.
that radius, you're now using that take clause that requires that $9,000 permit. So as long as you're outside that radius, there's no take, there's no fee, there's no permit.
So if we're outside the 3/4 mile.
Correct.
Yeah. But we're not on the West Jetty, we're not.
We'll have to measure it, won't we?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
we're maybe a 1/4 mile.
Yeah, because we've been doing the take permit for the last three years. Might be floor.
Okay.
Well, I don't want to impact birds, and I'm not especially fond of fireworks, but this is a 250th year anniversary. I'd like to do everything we can to mitigate the effects on the birds. The drone shows are wonderful. I saw one in California that was as good as any fireworks show. But, you know.
Councilman Schmidt.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, could I just be entertained for a quick second?
Yeah, I'll entertain you all night.
I was just curious, by a show of hands, who in the crowd would prefer fireworks over a drone show? Could I see if you feel like comfortable raising your hands for fireworks? How about a drone show? I'm just curious. Okay.
Very good.
Okay. Thank you for entertaining me for that. I just wanted to see something real quick.
Cool. All right, Councilman Bagby, you got statistical data?
You know me, Mayor. I'm,
Did you say Crab Island we could fire?
no, it don't even have to be Crab Island. I mean, depending on where we are on the West Jetty, where's Miss Lisa? Hey, Lisa, there you go. Depending on where we are, the 3/4 of a mile isn't even to the NCO club on,
There's 2 bird nesting sites on that open patch on the West Jetties.
oh,
That's what I'm
okay.
saying, and it's over there by Jetty East on Holiday Isle. Like, it's literally on all 4 points of the peninsulas there.
Okay. Then let's bring it to Crystal Beach.
Yeah?
Why not?
You know there's no birds there. It's very-
Then let's take it to where we're doing the Crosstown Connector, because that's clear cut right now. Not going to start any fires, and everybody in Destin can see it from there.
All right, so let's get back on.
mean,
Let's
yeah.
get back. I appreciate
just-
the.
Yeah, and I appreciate the drone show thing, and I appreciate the 50% of the people who favor the drone show. But for the 250th anniversary, I'm not going to support the drone show. I'm sorry.
Okay. I'll throw a little history in here for everyone, just for the fun of it. John Adams, that guy, was kind of quoted for the celebration of how we're going to celebrate, and it never said fireworks, it said illumination and cannons. So if we want to shoot cannons, I'm all for some cannons, but he said illumination and cannons. So if we want to really bring it down to the original Congress and independence, just want to throw that out there if we're going that way, because I definitely understand where you're coming from. It's turned into a heritage, but it was never the beginning of it. So I will say let's round out, because we're either going to say yes or no, and I'm okay with either one. I'm obviously going to be for the drones and really just against the fireworks during nesting season particularly. But with that, if we have any further comments or discussions on the matter, or I'll entertain a motion, and we'll see which way we want to roll this.
One other comment. If we buy the permit, that's supposed to be mitigating, right?
I believe so. That's the mitigating permit? That allows us to scare them.
Well, and then we did have to do a mitigation plan also.
Say that again.
So we have a mitigation plan that we provided to FWC, and that is through Eglin, their FWC, which is the Jackson Guard, that we've always worked with for before we shoot fireworks and during the fireworks. So they prepared a mitigation plan to put a little more nesting area away from the 98 on their property.
And so there is a mitigation plan in place? That is correct. And our $9,000 goes toward the
permit
support of that
itself.
permit and the mitigation plan?
That's correct.
And can we cut our show down and substitute some drones as far as time goes?
Say that again.
Could we shorten our fireworks and substitute drone, so the period of
Oh, and that's kind of where
educating-
this started. I mean, for me,
That's how-
when this whole big thing begun, it was like, all right, if we're going to get the foundation involved for $10,000, it's like, man, I know a local guy who's done Sandestin, Fort Walton, and he's going to be doing the drone show for the 250 for the county. He lives in Destin. He loves Destin. He's been here forever. Let's see, maybe we would have 2 options on the floor. Do we want a bigger bang at the end, or do we want drones at the same time, so there's flags flying and the fireworks going. And then it turned into the birds, and then I got to meet some of the Autobahn people, and then I got deep into it all, and that's kind of how this evolved. But at first it was a and, not an or, in my book. And then as we kept going down, it seemed more and
So
more
the
apparent.
and is the $10,000
Yeah.
that we were going to enhance the fireworks. And instead of doing a few more fireworks,
It was an idea for additional drones.
Correct.
And then as we learned more and more, we're spending 20% of our drone show cost for mitigation fees, and we're trying to protect the birds, and we're, it was one of those, I didn't want us talking out both sides of our mouths.
Well, if we do substitute drone at the end and cut back on the fireworks, it seems to me that would at least be a step in the direction that we would like to go.
Yeah, but we'll still have to be,
We still
yes,
have to pay
and
the
we'd
fees,
have to be
yeah.
paying that
Sure,
fee.
we still pay the fee. You
Okay.
don't get out of that at all.
Yeah.
So the other mitigating factor was, and will be, if we're shooting it over by the NCO and there's already a mitigating plan in place, and we're moving it away from Noriega Point as far as we can, then we have taken steps to protect those shorebirds, which are the ones that are within our jurisdiction that we have an obligation to try to protect.
Okay, I see, yeah. Okay. Councilman Bagby, then Trammell. Oh, sorry, man.
Yeah, the other point, and this will probably come up once or twice later tonight. Great idea. Would have been an even better idea 6 months ago. I mean, we're 47 days away from executing. And so to say, well, we're just going to get rid of our original plan, which I think we've already executed a contract for?
No.
No?
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay. So I just don't see us, and I like the idea, although I would put the bang at the end, because everybody likes the big bang at the end, because then that's when they know it's over, and start out with the drones and just kind of lead into the thing.
Okay. Councilwoman Trammell?
Well, I was just going to say that after every year that we've had fireworks, I know I've heard from the veterans and I've heard from the owners of dogs that it is very disruptive, even if they're doing it in the past. Where I live on Choctawhatchee Bay, it's disruptive. The dogs are still hiding under the bed. So in light of that, I think we seriously should consider doing a drone show.
All right. Councilman Morgan?
Yeah, so we put the public records request into the DEP.
FWC is where
and
that take program
okay.
comes.
And I would, in it, I would venture that they're not paying it, but I would like to ask the FWC to make sure that anyone shooting fireworks within this range.
I say Okaloosa just to kind of cast a wider net.
Yeah, sure, but I would make a motion to, not right now, but I would put a motion on the floor to request that the FWC enforce that take permit for all partners.
All right, thank you, sir. Councilman Schmidt?
Yeah, with everything going on at the Harbor Walk Village for multiple days, I think the city of Destin should take July 4th, and I'll make a motion to initiate a drone show contract for July 4th City of Destin celebration in lieu of the fireworks.
I'll second.
All right, a motion and a second. Any further discussions, or just let your vote be your words? All right, we'll call the vote.
Just for clarity, that's
Please.
to bring a contract back for council consideration?
Correct, yeah, this one. And for that drone show, for Councilman Bagby's point, they have already applied for the FAA. It's free, it just takes about 2 hours to do the application, so he's already started that, just in case we went forward with him in one way or another. All right, ayes have it, 1, 2, 3, 4 to 3, so moved. Okay. That is B, and is that also C, Mr. Jones? All right.
Takes care of most, so we'll...
All right, kiddos, thank you for holding in there with us for government. We promise we're not always this lame. All right, we're going to go back to the Arbor Day. All right. Well, I do this because clearly I can't read it. All right, awesome. All right. Oh, fantastic. Oh, you actually are fantastic. All right, so come over here. facing the audience here.
But he would like to introduce.
Perfect.
Yes, you don't have to do a thing.
Just stand there, ma'am.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Well, good job, students. They're being well behaved and so good. We're so proud of them. As he mentioned at the beginning, I'm Pastor Darius Arnold. We started Faith Coast Academy, and this wonderful student has attended our school for the last 3 years, and so we've gotten a chance to see her grow up. And we got invited by Lisa to attend the Arbor Day event happening at Buck Destin Park right next to our school. And so we went over there, had a good time, brought donations and all that to support the event. But Lisa asked us, is there anybody that would like to say something? And so I just threw it out to all the students. If anybody would like to give a speech or share something at the event, you have an opportunity. And this young lady volunteered. And then I asked her to read what she prepared to me, and I was just so impressed. And she did such a great job. We got a call from somebody at the Destin Log. Can I get her name? I want to put her in an article. And then we got invited here by Lisa. So I want to introduce one of our wonderful students, Aranza Ramos, as she shares what she produced on Arbor Day at the tree planting ceremony.
All right. Good evening, everyone. I am very happy and honored to be here. This is very much like a dream come true for me. I'd like to thank our mayor, each of our sitting council members, my parents, and also Pastor Darius, Pastor Jane, and Faith Coast Academy for this opportunity. Now, I will read the speech that I shared at the recent Arbor Day event. So, good morning, everyone. Today we are here to celebrate trees, but also something even greater: life, kindness, and God's creation. Trees are a powerful symbol. They grow strong over time, stand firm in storms, and give so much without asking for anything in return. They provide shade, food, and the air that we breathe. In the Bible, trees were part of God's creation from the very beginning, reminding us that they are a gift meant to bless the world. The Bible also teaches that good trees bears good fruit. This is kindness, mercy, and love. We are like a good tree, giving something good to others. Today is also about giving. Just like trees are given freely, we are called to help others, share what we have, and give joy, all to please our Heavenly Father. Thank you for your time.
Way better than me. Awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you all for bearing in there with us. Appreciate it. Awesome. I'm going to grab one more. I appreciate everyone as we called that audible real quick. And I'm just going to give them just a moment to clear out of here, and we'll get on to the next. Thank you guys so much for being here and taking your time this evening. All right, I think they're being pretty clear. Bossman Jones, you want to take it away?
Yes, sir. Item 4D is regarding the comprehensive plan ear amendment and the Inspire pacemaking work authorization. This item was brought to you at last council meeting with a request to approve an engagement of $211,000. We were asked to go back and revisit that to see if we couldn't bring it down. Staff worked with the Inspire group, and Mr. George Kramer from Inspire is here tonight if you have any questions. But the revised version is at $149,500, which is $61,500 less than the previous one. Staff has taken on some of the requests that were in the original proposal, but it's certainly things that we can accomplish in-house. So we present that to you for your consideration tonight.
All right, thank you, sir. Councilman Jim Bagby.
Mayor, I move the city council approve the Inspire Placemaking Collective Work Authorization for the year, based amendments per the attached scope, and authorize the city manager to execute.
All right, I have a motion, and I have a second by Councilwoman Trammell. Any further discussions on the ear?
Just want to thank the staff and Inspire for working together and actually doing some math there. Thank
There you go. All right, seeing nothing else on the board, we will call the vote. Ayes have it, so moved, 7-0. Thank you guys so much for being here. Appreciate all your help. All right, boss man.
Item 4E is a request from Mr. Wayne Burnett for the City Council to consider a hardship exemption to the city's temporary livery vessel moratorium. He is represented by Mr. Justin Remole, I believe, and they're here. And I know Ms. Kopp has had some conversation with them, so we're going to allow them to speak, make your request to council.
All right, well, thank you for being here. Just hit that gray button. There you go.
You able to hear me okay? Yes, sir. Okay, well, my name's Justin Remole, and I represent Wayne Burnett and his company, Crab Island Dolphin Tours. And we've also brought Captain Mike and Captain Gunner, who are both here today. I provided a letter through Attorney Kopp to the council. If anybody doesn't have a copy, I have some hard copies here. I'd be happy to provide them to you. Okay. I'd like to tell you a little bit of the background and why we are asking for a livery license and why it's a hardship. Mr. Burnett's lived here for 42 years. Prior to operating Crab Island Dolphin Tours, he operated a limousine business in the city of Destin for 19 years. In 2014, Mr. Burnett purchased a boat and also got a United States Coast Guard captain's license at that time. And in 2018, he opened Crab Island Dolphin Tours and began providing captained tours to visitors to our area. This isn't a situation where you turn over the keys to the visitors. Each tour from Crab Island Dolphin Tours has a captain, whether it's Mr. Burnett, Captain Mike, or Captain Gunner. And there's one other who couldn't be here today because he's actually doing a sunset tour right now. I'd like to tell you about Crab Island Dolphin Tours and why it's different from the types of behavior that caused the livery license moratorium in the first place. So there's two vessels, Crab Island Dolphin Tours. One is, both are 12 capacity occupants on the boat. They're ported at two different locations. One is Heron Harbor, and the other one is Pelican Adventures. The Heron Harbor location has a boat slip through a written lease with the owner, so there's no situation where we're dropping off and picking up from transient slips. So the Heron Harbor location is at 580 Harbor Boulevard. The Pelican Adventures location is at 314 Harbor Boulevard, also secured a boat slip through a written lease, so we're not using any transient slips. There's restrooms at each location, both the Heron Harbor location and the Pelican Adventures location for the customers to use. There's also ample parking at both locations. Heron Harbor has 2 dedicated spots, and Pelican Adventures has paid on-site parking, and then overflow off-site parking, which is on Benning Drive behind Sexton's, where the old VFW used to be, if you remember when that was there. As I said, each tour is operated by a captain. There's 4 captains on staff. There's never a situation where we're just throwing the keys to somebody who doesn't know anything about boating. The purpose, and honestly, I've had little interaction with the livery vessel moratorium, so I looked it up and I read it and I saw some of the reasons that it was implemented, and they all seem to be related to unregulated use of boats. So, for example, one of the purposes was to address, quote, unregulated rental of livery vessels to the public that impacts the welfare of the historic working waterfront and jeopardizes the health, safety, and welfare of the city's residents, property owners, and visitors. Another reason was to address rentals to, quote, inexperienced operators, which led to unsafe conditions in the waters of the city. And the third, quote, to preserve the historic working waterfront of the city. So for Crab Island Dolphin Tours, each trip is captained by a United States Coast Guard licensed captain. Nobody else operates the vehicles. Each site has dedicated boat slips. No transient slips are used. There's customer bathroom facilities and locations to cut down on the impact to any public facilities that may be there. There's ample parking at both locations, and the vessels and the businesses are insured. My client was recently told that he would have to cease his business if he didn't get a livery license, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about the hardship that would be. First of all, there would be 4 people Two of the captains that are here, the one that's not here, Mr. Burnett, who would lose their livelihood. So it's serious. If one of the boats is restricted, it will amount to about a 42.5% reduction in revenue to Mr. Burnett's company. He also purchased a new vessel in 2025 and a new motor for that vessel totaling $59,000. And basically it would stretch out the repayment obligations of that beyond what's feasible. So it's a real issue for Crab Island Dolphin Tours, and we would like the council to grant us a livery license. I also want to point out one more thing, is that there have not been any accidents in Crab Island Dolphin Tours since it started in 2018, and that is different than a lot of the other companies I'm aware of around here that rent out boats and just throw the keys. I did want to point out one more thing. As we were researching this issue, we came to realize that Mr. Burnett did not have City of Destin business tax receipts for 18 through 25 when he started. And I just want to be upfront with you guys and address that. The reason is that Mr. Burnett was unaware of the layered county city tax receipts. He's always had Okaloosa County tax receipts, and those were exhibits to the letter I provided, and he'd be willing to pay any penalty that the City of Destin has for the past year's business tax receipts. He does have a 2026 tax receipt and offered to make good on the past years when he got that receipt, and they said that they'd leave it up to the council. I'm happy to take any questions that you may have about this application, but we would just ask that the council consider and grant Crab Island Dolphin Tours a livery license permit and/or medallion that enables them to operate both their vessels from each of their port locations.
All right, well, thank you guys both for being here. I definitely appreciate you guys. I definitely believe in the free market, and for you guys to freely chose the captain route, I definitely appreciate that. And with that, I'll open up to Councilman Braden.
Thank you, Mayor.
I think Kim wanted to.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was actually going to make a clarification, but
I'm
I
sorry.
didn't want to interrupt Councilmember. Just my clarification is you're not, and thank you, that was a great job. You're not issuing a permit tonight. The question is whether they can have an exception to the moratorium by showing the substantial hardship that they expended funds and that you want to allow them to operate. If you do want to grant them an exception, then what happens is staff will take their application and review any conditions you put on it, such as BTRs and past registrations being paid. They will then review their parking, bathrooms, all of the things the code requires, and only then, if those are met, they would get the permit. However, if you don't give that authorization, it would be dead in the water now.
All right, thank you for that clarification.
That was
All right, Councilman Braden.
Thank you. Have you purchased livery license in the past?
No, sir.
Why not?
Unaware.
But that's been one of the hottest topics in this area, or on this dais, is livery vessels. We have had a moratorium on livery vessels for years.
Yes, sir.
I mean,
I was going to say, if you can step over to the mic just for the record.
In all honesty, once I found out, I did call many times and said I need to purchase a livery license. Secretary or whomever I reached then said, okay, I'll get a hold of that person. Never responded. I called another 5 times, received no answer to any emails or to any phone calls. So
you've been
I
operating
just
since
stopped.
2018?
I'm sorry?
You've been operating since 2018?
Yes, sir.
You know, it's frustrating to me, and I did this with Crab Island. You know, people went out there and set up shop illegally, and then they come to us as a hardship saying, well, you're going to put me out of business. I'm not putting you out of business. If anybody's going to put you out of business, it's going to be you for not following the laws and rules and regulations. And they went and set up on a piece of land that wasn't theirs, didn't have any lease or nothing else, and then they come over talking about, we're going to put them out of business? I just don't like it when somebody puts that burden on us or saying we're going to put them out of business.
Actually, I'm just looking to be able to do bareboat. I don't need a livery license to the best of my knowledge.
I think
Because
the
a
whole
livery-
bareboat thing is kind of a way of skirting around the livery license, is my understanding.
Well, I don't know about skirting, but I am 100% legal under the United States Coast Guard law.
The city code provides that a bareboat is a livery vessel. It's very clear. It says
But
a
in-
bareboat is a livery vessel.
So he has to come get a livery license.
Correct. That's why he's here tonight.
Okay. And we've heard multiple times throughout the years that the moratorium was okay because there wasn't enough parking or anything else to have more livery vessels in the harbor. And is it my understanding that you're here tonight because you got caught? Code compliance shut you down, or somebody come to your attention? Why are you here tonight? Or
The way that I understand it is the ordinance just came to fruition approximately a month ago. Chris Koch came down to my boat and said, you need to cease and desist. And I said, I've been doing this since 18. And again, I'm not a livery. I'm a captain charter. So I was understood that I did not need a livery license, so I did not attempt to pursue one.
did the city tell you that?
United States Coast Guard told me I'm not a livery.
Councilman Braden, the city did adjust its definition, if I'm correct.
Our definition always provided that unless you had a U.S. Coast Guard assigned at all times, no list, no bareboat, you would be a livery vessel. What we did, definitely not a month ago, but maybe last year, is we clarified the definition to specifically state a bareboat is a livery, because a lot of the bareboats that typically have a captain most of the time were confused. So we made a clarification, but it was always the rule.
Yes, and in each charter, every time the boat goes out from Crab Island Dolphin Tours, there is a captain on board manning the vessel, not a visitor or somebody from out of state. There's the definition, I believe the change was the city of Destin added on to the state definition of livery vessel, and I think it was a year ago. So it has been a year. I don't think it was last month, but that's when it was brought to his attention. I mean, the bottom line is that we're not saying this is your fault, please save us, save us. We're saying that this is one of the good ones, right? He's got captain vessels. He's got infrastructure. He's got parking. He's got dedicated boat slips. He has licensed captains manning the vessels. He's not turning them loose. So,
I understand that, and I'm always want to find out, is the city at fault or is the individual at fault here? And if the city is at fault in any aspect of it at all, miss one thing, then always go to the, to the client.
Yes, sir.
So that's why I'm having a hard time with it. But and I guess another thing too is what I said earlier is we've always talked about there is no parking, so we don't have to worry about any more livery vessels. So when staff takes this application, are they going to determine whether all that parking's already claimed or is it not? Is there enough parking there? The parking that they claim, has it already been taken, spoken for? I know we're in that process of going to each property and see what's supposed to be there and what can't be there. So that's all I got, Mayor. I'll let the rest of my colleagues speak.
All right, thank you, sir. Captain,
Thank you.
Councilman Morgan.
I get Mr. Braden's frustration. Rodney and I implemented the moratorium because things were just out of control with the city, and we had a lot of bad operators. But that said, I don't think Mr. Burnett is one. I understand that the city recognizes bareboats and liveries as the same, but I can promise you Mr. Burnett's boats do not operate the same way as some yahoo from Dubuque, Iowa that's never been on saltwater in his life. So I appreciate the captain vessels. I think it's making for a safer harbor, and it's the kind of business I think we should encourage and possibly distinguish in the city's code down the line. I do understand the bareboat fishing charters are completely different because I do think going out in the Gulf of Mexico and fishing is an issue. I understand both sides of it, but that said, I would move to approve Mr. Burnett's request tonight.
All right, I do have a motion on the floor. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
A second with Councilman Destin, and the floor is yours as well.
Thank you. And I'll repeat some of Mr. Morgan's observations. These are captain vessels. To distinguish them from 6-passenger charter boats, it's true they go out and go fishing. As long as you get outside of the jurisdiction out on Crab Island, that's the same as going 50 miles offshore as far as the law is concerned. These guys are captain vessels that are operating outside the city limits. I don't know how, under the law, we can treat them differently than captain pirate boats or captain charter boats or anything else that has a Coast Guard captain. I know that we say they're different. I don't know the rationale behind it. It is true that about a year ago, we redefined livery to include his kind of vessel, even if it has a captain. Judging by the reasons that we had cited to us and that we were all here for when we did the moratorium, having a captain on the vessel mitigates most of the reasons we had a moratorium. I wish every pontoon that operates out of this place has a captain. And so, I don't know what we stand on. Once the staff has determined that you do in fact have the required parking, that's required of everybody, and that you meet the other obligations you have to have a captain vessel operating in Destin, then I don't know what we stand on either rationally or legally other than we just say so, that you're a livery vessel. So that's the reason I second it, and we need more boats with captains, not less.
Thank you.
All right, Councilwoman Aber.
Thanks, Mayor. I agree with my teammates up here, Chatham and Dewey. My husband and I were out on the water every weekend, and we're just amazed at how many idiots from other states come and get a pontoon boat and just cut right in front of us, cut right in front of the Buccaneer. But we do need more captain vessels. I think you probably were kind of like left out of the loop back in the day whenever you first signed up in 2018 because of the Coast Guard requirements, having a captain. But I wouldn't vote against you not getting your license. I would just say back pay us to 2018 for the BTR fees. And if the city staff finds that you've got the right amount of parking and bathrooms, I say more power to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Councilwoman Trammell.
I guess Ms. Aber brought it up. I was going to ask Mr. Morgan, did that include, or do we need a motion to include the back BTR payment? Do we need to add to your motion, or do we even need a motion? That's what I was going to ask.
I mean, if it helps, I'll amend my motion.
He's offered to do it, so.
Yeah, I'll amend my motion to request payment of the BTRs.
Are you including BTRs and livery registrations, or just BTRs? They're two separate fees, just asking for staff.
Sure. I'll include both fees that they should have been paying if they'd been registered.
All right, and Councilman Destin as the second. Are you okay with that amendment?
Well, I don't really agree with that, but I'll go along and have it voted on because we're still, in order to take.
Hit the button if you're talking more.
A simple yes, I wasn't going to yell at you.
Things are more complicated, Mayor. I don't really agree with that because I don't think he's a livery vessel, even though our code now says he is. But I'll leave it. I'll go along with my second just to put the issue to bed.
All right, Councilman Bagby.
So we're talking about the two boats. When did y'all purchase the boats? Because I looked at the bill of sales and I looked at, it was a little confusing because there's 22, 23, and then there was 24, 25. And so I'm thinking maybe the first two boats were older and then you purchased the last two boats because we've been talking about the moratorium and we've been talking about livery vessels for at least the last 5.5 years on this council, at least. So I'm just trying to figure out, if you just bought them last week, it was like, well, because all we're determining is there a hardship? You know, and to me, if you just bought them, you know, in 26 or November of 25, that's not a hardship. You should have known the rules. I mean, we've been talking about this, it's been in the paper and everything else. But when the two that you're trying to get in here under the hardship clause were purchased when?
I believe he's had 2 vessels since 2018.
I've had 2 vessels since 2014.
Right.
And he replaced one of the vessels in 2025.
I've been, you know, pontoon boat's only going to hang in there about 4 or 5 years anyway, especially with this harsh salt conditions. But yeah, I've been buying and selling boats since that time.
Okay, because
All captain charters.
Yeah. My other issue, which is not before us tonight, was you have the 4 spaces, but you have 12 packs boats. And so in your, or the staff's submission, said we only use 2 of those spaces for our guests. Okay, then that would be 6 people per car, which I kind of strains my credibility here, but I'll support the motion. But at some point, we have to say no, you know, because people, it's not our, to Mr. Braden's point, it's not our fault that you didn't know the rules. The rules have been discussed very openly for 5+ years. So, thank you.
We appreciate your support.
Councilman Schmidt.
Yeah, just for staff, can you give clarification versus what the parking requirement will be for this operation based upon what he's potentially going to apply for?
Yeah,
Parking-wise?
if it's a 12-pack passenger charter, it'd be 3 spaces because it's 1 space per 4 passengers.
And so in y'all's documents, it doesn't look like you have 3 spaces at the property. So how does that work?
There are 2 separate locations, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the Pelican Adventures location has on-site paid parking, which is just across the street from Sexton's on 98. And then behind Sexton's is off-site free parking for Pelican Adventures. And I've supplied photos of those parking lots in the materials I provided. The other location, the Heron Harbor location, that one has 2 spots. My understanding is that the lease, for some reason, limits those spots to 3, so 6 total, because there's 2. But that was apparently an error, and my understanding is that the landlord would amend the lease to be consistent with the city of Destin, which I believe, and they can correct me, is 4 per spot for a total of 8. And I further understand that that landlord may be coming back before the council or the city to get a 3rd spot, which would be 4 and rate 12 and 12 at both locations. Those are prospective. I'm not trying to represent that they're here now, but I think at present, with the amendment from the landlord, you could do 12 at Pelican Adventures and 8 at the Heron Harbor location, and I would get that amendment and provide it.
So you have 2 boats at Heron Harbor and 2 at Pelican Adventures?
1 each.
1 at each. And you're saying that you have to provide 4 spaces, even though they said 3?
No, I'm saying you have to provide.
There's a lot of saying
I'm sorry.
right there. It's
Yeah,
okay.
my
You have
understanding
to
is-
provide 3 spaces? Is that what you said?
It's 1 parking space per 4 passengers. So if it's a 12-pack charter, it'd be 3 spaces.
3 spaces.
Yes,
And
sir.
you said we have 2, but the landlord's going to give you
2
2
at
more?
the Heron Harbor location, ample parking where the.
Well, I'm just asking about Heron Harbor.
Okay, at the Heron Harbor location, the lease currently gives them
2.
2. And it's limited to 3 for some reason that we're not sure. We're reviewing the lease came up with. My understanding is that Mr. Burnett has had preliminary discussions.
So you have access to 3?
We will have access to
Okay.
3 once the lease is
Oh.
amended. And once the landlord acquires the 3rd spot. We will have access to 8
Gotcha.
once the lease is amended.
So if you don't have the required spaces, then you can't get delivery vessel
Correct. It wouldn't pass
registration,
staff.
right? I mean, it wouldn't pass. I mean, you're agree to that, right?
I agree if we don't pass staff. We
Right, if you don't have the required parking. Okay.
Councilman Destin.
Question, and this will be for Kim. So we're going to, if this passes, we're going to give them a livery license. Is that correct?
You're going to give them an exception to the moratorium so that they can apply for a livery license.
Okay.
Staff will then review.
The end result is if it's successful, they will have a
If
livery
they
license.
pass staff code compliance review, then yes, they will get a license.
Okay, I'll get to my point. if they have a livery license, can they go from having captain's boats to uncaptained boats?
Great question.
And can we stipulate in the granting of this hardship that they do not do that, that they have captain boats only?
Councilman Destin, my client would make it a condition and a stipulation that his vessels be captained.
Yeah, I would make that part of the motion, that they stipulate to have captain vessels only.
Yeah, I'll amend my motion to include that stipulation.
All right, and Councilman Destin's okay with that? And then my last question for Kim. I know we had like so many of these BTRs that are under this. Would now these two boats count towards our maximum?
Yeah, you're talking now about livery registrations, not BTRs, and yes.
Sorry, yes.
We're actually
I just
under.
want to call them medallions.
We're
Anything
actually-
but medallions.
We are more than two under our max.
Okay, that
so
was
they
my-
will not exceed it.
That was probably the better question, is this going to exceed our max?
It will not.
Thank you. All right. Gotcha. All right, I have nothing else on the floor. I got motion and second with two amendments. Lisa, there you go. And with that, I'll call the vote.
Can you, just to make sure you accurately captured those two stipulations, could you reread the motion that is currently on the floor,
Or ask
please?
us to.
Well, the original motion was to approve, and then it was to include paying the past fees, and then the third change was to remain with captains.
All right, bye, Ray. She's got it from here. Goodness. All right, the votes are open. Oh, man. All right, ayes have it, so moved, 7-0.
Congratulations.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you, Council. And thank you, Attorney Cobb.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Dr.
Jones.
Item 4F is regarding the parking fees at the Terracotta parking lot. Per council's direction, this amends the fee resolution to change those, the fee structure there to $5 per hour as opposed to $20 for the 4-hour block through the end of September. And if you approve this, we will bring you back a report in early September of how that's working and whether you wish to continue it or discontinue it at the end of the month.
I'll move to approve Resolution 2610.
All right. I have a second with Councilwoman Hebert. Seeing no further discussions, we'll call the vote. There we go. Starting to roll now. All right, ayes have it, 7-0, so moved.
Mayor, if I could just make a quick related statement.
Please.
I've had requests numerous times to look toward changing the parking fee throughout the city.
Yep.
To this scheme, $5, so that we will get more people using it. And I think I want to let the staff look at it, but we need to move in that direction. And I'll, not at the next meeting, but a future near meeting, I'm going to make a motion to go forward with that.
All right, well, you're stealing my thunder because that's what my sunset parking was going to turn into, is like, why don't we just do 5 everywhere and be done with this thing? Yeah. All right, either way, I appreciate the comment, and we can strike mine off the list. All right, Dr. Jones.
4G is regarding the naming process for city parks and amenities within the parks. As you're aware, there is a process to name trees and park benches currently, but this formalizes the ability for the public, for the city manager or city council to initiate the process of naming either a park in whole or any amenity within a park other than a tree or bench.
All right, and with that, Councilman Destin.
I was reading through it, and we don't have any formal thing in place right now, do we?
No, sir.
No, as I was reading through it, it appears to say that any citizen can come and petition the council to name or rename parks, et cetera. We don't really do that now, do we? I fear sometimes we make
There's not a
things-
formalized process. I mean,
Right.
certainly council has the discretion to do that and has done that.
Yeah,
But
it makes me a little nervous to see that on there, because we may have people at every meeting requesting that we name or change names. And if it's not brought up by a council member who thinks it warrants, consideration, I see that as leading us toward a very active naming. So I would move that we amend the resolution to take that part out. And so you at least need to go talk to a council person to say, hey, take this forward for me. And at least one of the 7 of us think it's a good idea.
That's a great idea.
Just to play devil's advocate, our charter says that the citizens can petition an ordinance of ours without legislative sponsor.
It does, and it's a very complicated process if you've read through it.
It is.
To form a committee.
Yeah, you really buttoned that up, didn't you?
That's a little more.
That's why I've been here a minute.
A little more complicated than just showing up at the council meeting and saying.
I agree, but I just wanted to throw that out there as a devil's advocate. I'm not against it, but yeah. Yeah, I figured as much. I'm learning on the job. All right, so I have Councilman Destin with the motion with that amendment. All right, and then Councilwoman Hebert is agreeing to the amendment. Any other discussions, comments, concerns? Seeing none, we'll call the vote. All right, ayes have it, so moved, 7-0. All right, boss
4H,
man.
Mr. Mayor, council is regarding a renewal and replacement and resurfacing and striping of our roadways. There are 18 streets that is in the queue to move forward in the renewal and replacement plan. They're funded, they're budgeted, and would like your approval to move them forward and repave some roads.
Just wanted to throw out a comment on that, and a lot of it I don't think is our fault or our domain, but I would like us, where it's applicable, where the sewer mains, working with Destin water users, if there is a lip or anything like that, we're doing a good thing, and I think one of the unintended consequences is where we're not milling and resurfacing back to the same, or even if we are, there's some, again, I'm very appreciative that we're down to this being the issue, but I just wanted to raise it on behalf of several citizens who's brought it to my attention that go, thank you for paving Airport Road, but there's, we may have created some holes that our water, that our Destin water user family occupies. So I just wanted to ask if there's any way to work with Destin water users and even perhaps use monies that we have allocated or not have to just, really do a good job, one and done with these roads as we're already halfway through. So, Michael, I don't know if you have anything to add to that. Just wanted to bring that up.
We will certainly take that into consideration as we move these forwards and have those conversations with the contractor.
All right, thank you, sir. So I do have Councilwoman Hebert with the motion and Councilman Bagby with the second, and I have Councilwoman Trammell up.
I was just going to say that the last ones that were in and around my neighborhood, they're just slick as glass. So they're getting the message.
Good deal. And thank you, Michael, for keeping them on check. All right, with that, we'll call the vote. All right, ayes have it, 7-0, so moved. All right, crosstown barrier.
Next item is 4I. If you recall, at an earlier meeting, we presented you with the idea of perhaps installing some new fencing along the new Crosstown Connector corridor. We were asked to bring back a couple of more parts to that discussion. One was sound barriers, and the other was some mechanisms to protect the private property. Those items are in your packet. We looked at the sound barrier option, which would provide some relief to and mitigation of the noise, and then additionally to provide some enhancements that would offer some protection to the private property in certain areas, either through a metal guardrail system or some concrete barriers. The cost of those are in your packet. So we're looking for direction on any combination of those or no combination of them.
All right, with that, Councilman Schmidt.
Yeah, just a couple of questions. There's a lot of stuff provided, which I really appreciate. I think I saw that the current proposed plan is the white barrier fence. Are all these palm trees and pinkish flower-looking things, are those the current proposed plan?
Sound like we were going.
They are part of the design that's in the contract currently.
The contract with the white fence or the
No,
current
there's no
contract on the road?
There's no contract for the fence.
Right.
So the landscaping is all part of the road contract.
Okay. And
including
then
the trees.
the hedges, is there any current proposal with those in it, or are these just ideas?
Those are ideas, Robert, if you'll help me with that.
No, those are actually, I believe they're
Part of
in
the
there.
contract? Okay.
So
There-
when we're
There's
looking
all
at
kind
these-
of vegetation currently shown on the landscape plan.
So could you help me understand where these 5 to 7 foot tall box hedges would be on the landscape plan? Would those be along the road or the fence?
Yeah, they're on the edges is what I'm being told.
Edges meaning?
Near the fence.
So let's just use the example. Currently, we have a contract proposed to take the white fence all the way down the back of those houses, I think, right?
That is a proposal that
proposal.
for consideration, yes, sir.
Could you show me or help me understand where those box hedges are?
So looking at the plans, they would line in front of the proposed fence.
Or if or the existing fence in the event
Or
that-
the existing
in the event
fence,
there is no new fence.
because the fence is not currently in the proposed plan, so.
So just for clarity, the proposed plan is a white vinyl fence. Okay, sorry. Yeah, see, this is why I need to. thank
Okay,
you.
so the landscaping is part of the contract, whether we replace.
Crosstown
the-
connector contract.
That's correct. Whether we put a
Okay.
new fence up or not.
All right, so let's pause right there then.
Okay.
So then the current plan has hedges going all the way down the length of that boundary right now.
Yes.
Yes.
So then if we added a white fence, we would have box hedges all the way down. Behind those box hedges would be a white fence
Yes.
from one end to the other.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right, that's good right now, thank you.
All right, thank you. Why do I keep going that way? Councilman,
Morgan?
yes,
Yeah, no, I don't-
Councilman
no, I
Morgan.
haven't had
Oh
a
my
drink in
God.
14 years, but anyways. So I've got, I want to hear more discussion before I make a motion, but my concern is from Beach Drive to where Miss Wilson's house. That's where it comes as close as 30 feet. It's 10 yards. That is really close to their property line. And in some instances, on the corner in the cul-de-sac there, you're 10 feet from their property line. So I would look at potentially guardrails or concrete barriers to protect from Beach Drive to, I think it was 614 Legion. And then additionally, I would like to see all native trees.
Here we go.
I would like to get rid of the crepe myrtles. The shrubbery and the hedges are one thing, but I would like to see live oaks and magnolias, longleaf pines. Get rid of the palm trees. And then look at doing a sound barrier really from Beach to that section of Legion Drive on the north side of the connector where it comes closest. Those are my thoughts. I am sympathetic. I mean, my backyard is where I go for privacy, and I think we have an obligation to protect the privacy and the quiet, peaceful enjoyment of people's backyards. So whatever the city can do to mitigate that without breaking the bank, I'd support that. I'm interested to hear what my fellow council members have to say.
All right, well, I appreciate that and echo all of that. My only add to that is for those barriers, since they are so close and we do have a north sidewalk, if, I don't know the design or I don't know what state statute says or anything like that, but if permittable, put them in between the road and sidewalk so we can protect the neighbors and the pedestrians. Because if we're going to invest, we might as well be able to block both and really contain the vehicles to the space they have to be on.
Yeah, and that said, I mean, you're trading, it's sort of a lose-lose for these people on Legion because they're getting rid of 90% of the through traffic on Legion Drive. So their front yards will be better off.
For sure. All right, and with that, let me get to my board. Councilman Bagby.
Yeah, so as long as I agree from probably 624 to 612 Legion, put it in a guardrail, 5 feet off the fence line or whatever. I would prefer to see, and I agree with the only native vegetation, no palm trees. I would prefer to see along that entire northern boundary, podocarpus hedge, similar to what you see down at Alice Beach. You can grow it as tall as you want to. You can grow it as wide as you want to. I know the guy that put it in Alice Beach, and it's the same guy that does the landscaping at Rosemary. It provides a sound buffer. It provides a physical buffer. You're not driving through that thing. But if for some reason you did launch a rocket through there, you would at least between 624 and 612 hit a guardrail. And so I think in my world, that would be the perfect solution. So redo the landscaping plan, add a little segment of guardrail up there where it gets close to the properties, and then do the podocarpus hedge as opposed to with, trees interspersed in there. Yeah.
Amazing.
I'm sorry, what?
Privet doesn't grow very well here. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Councilman Destin.
Well, it sounds like we're all singing from the same hymn, probably. I'd like to see some guardrails, perhaps the concrete barriers on those properties right there where the corner is most likely to launch cars through there. And as far as the more natural vegetation, I agree. And I know Jim loves palm trees, but I'm afraid.
Y'all are really breaking my heart tonight.
The only question I have is by eliminating some palm trees and some of that other stuff, do we have a savings which may offset? Because I noticed the price for these fences and barriers was $200,000. What was it, the estimate?
The fence itself was about $200,000. The concrete barrier was significant. And the guardrails.
30 or 40, whatever it was,
yes,
I saw.
Yeah, and the guardrails.
So is there a way to look at the landscaping to try to mitigate some of that? If there is, we should do it, because this is a change order, right?
That would be correct, yes, sir.
So it's going to cost us more money, but if we can save money over here, it would sure help. And so I will support those. I don't know, do we need a motion to direct staff, or you guys understand what we're trying to say?
I think we have some.
Well, so everybody said something a little different, so I would need some clarification on which way to go.
Dewey, I can try to cobble it together if you want me to. Yeah, so
I was
I'll
going to agree with all that,
yeah.
yeah. Chatham, read out, I guarantee you're on the same sheet of music.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I would move to have city staff get a change order, a revised quote or plan to install a sound barrier between 624 Legion Court and 612 Legion Drive, a guardrail, and an option for a concrete barrier for the same addresses, and then eliminate all non-native tree species, add a carpus hedge along the fence line, and I think that's it, if I'm missing something.
Second, yes, that's exactly it.
With the carpus hedge, is that just for that same area as the guardrail, or would that be across the whole fence?
I'd get it quoted out with
Okay.
and without it, because it does seem like the plans have the entire fence landscape, so
All
it
right.
might as well
No, I
be
think it's
uniform.
for staff's purpose. I just wanted to make sure we're as clear as possible with them. I appreciate that. Councilman Bagby, anything further?
Yeah. Because the podocarpus hedge replaces the sound barrier and the wall and the fence. The guardrail provides the safety, but the podocarpus hedge, it's redundant to put in a wall or a fence or a whatever, because I assume most of y'all have been down there. That thing is, you know,
Yeah.
5, 6 feet thick.
I'll give you a local one, an airport,
Yeah.
the Cannon Way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I would just ask that we, on a cost savings, and maybe if you want to bring it back with the wall as an option, looking at the cost, but I would say just the podocarpus hedge. And I would also, you know, the landscapers will tell us, but you know how they break it up in Alice for the streets, but you can break it up and leave a 30-foot opening for a live oak, which they will canopy at 30 feet usually, and then put that there so that you kind of have that in a spurt. I'm not a great landscaper, but I've worked with some.
Is that
So-
helpful? The engineers are writing it all down.
All right.
Thank you for that clarity. That helps a lot.
All right, good deal. I got nothing else on the board? Yes, sir.
Just one question. The wall itself had some sound barrier characteristics, was my understanding as I read through it. So it may serve that function until the vegetation does it? I don't know. Can we?
Yeah, the vegetation provides it. If you go on the other side, I mean, that's why they put it in there, because when you're putting $5 million houses right next to 30A, which
Right.
they were doing.
And it does, but will it, the wall was 10 feet supposedly, the one that was quoted in here, and that would cut a lot of the noise out. And we may not be able to do both, but I would certainly look at what it would cost us to do both.
Yeah, we'll bring you some options back based on that.
Thank you.
All right, sounds good. All right, with that, we will call the vote. All right, ayes have it, 6-1. So moved.
Who said no?
Oh,
Who said
uh-oh.
Who said no? Who said no? We didn't get to see that.
I need to see it either. All right, 6-1.
Who was the no?
I voted no.
You're not allowed to ask that, right?
No, I didn't know that.
What?
I mean, we've just been talking about this for 20 years, and we've spent millions and millions and millions of dollars on this project for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
And my question is, how are we going to keep all this stuff alive?
Destin water user.
Irrigation. We can't keep the grass alive on 98, on the median, so how are we going to keep all this stuff alive? We're going to get it sprinkled and all that? Is that another change order?
No, it's currently irrigated in the plans.
So all this stuff's going to be irrigated?
With reusable water.
Is it with Destin water users?
It's with the reused water.
Nice. That's 33 cents for 1,000 gallons. All right, moving on.
Pump has to still turn off.
Item 4.
All right, let's keep rolling.
Item 4J is regarding the tow truck fees. We were instructed to bring back a resolution that would reflect the fees that the county adopted. So what's before you tonight for your consideration is the resolution that would, for the city of Destin to adopt identical fees as the county adopted for tow truck services.
All right, Councilman Schmidt.
Yeah, a few thoughts here. I wasn't here at the meeting when y'all originally went through this the first time. I was there a few years ago when we were asked specifically to raise that one fee, or 3 times, but one fee, the tow fee. It seems to me, unless I'm wrong, because I didn't get the email, you can get with this guy over here. He'll check the email records. The guy's gone still. It seems like there's some confusion maybe that we're not looking at all the fees that we need to look at. Is that because the request never got presented to us the correct way, or did we misinterpret it? And if that's the case, I would love to wait, allow them to work with our staff to understand the full picture of all of the fees that they are considering.
All we have is
we
the tow
should
fees,
consider.
correct?
It sounds like there's more. It sounds like there's more on that schedule that we either didn't consider, think about, or understand. I don't know. That's how I'm taking their comments. And if that's the case, before we just ram another resolution fee schedule, I'd rather look at the full picture and work with them, with staff, to do that. So my current proposal is we table this until they can work with staff And I'll be legislative sponsor to understand the full picture. Say that again?
I said I already am. I'm the one that made the motion.
You already are what?
And I made the motion for all the fees, not just the towing number, all the fees.
Well, that's not what the resolution says.
That's what they called me to clarify it to say, was it just towing or was it all of them? And I said, it's just all of them. I have spoken to another towing company and they're very happy with the county numbers. So that's why I said all of them.
The
at
only
the last
change,
meeting.
the only change in this resolution is the one tow fee. No? Well, again, it sounds like there's a little confusion and it sounds like these gentlemen have been here multiple times and they're wanting to work with us to do it the right way.
All right. Ms. Kopp, can you clarify where we're at right now with that fee?
Right now, the proposed resolution matches up with the county on all fees. It does not just change the towing, it's storage, it's everything.
So you changed it all.
Yeah, we changed it all.
And those fees were recently adopted by the county.
So I would ask you, Mr. Mayor, could we understand from them what the exact complication or is it the amounts? Could we get more details from them real quick?
Yeah, yeah, please.
And I might could offer a little bit of clarity because they were asking the city to increase 2 or 3 of the fees more than what the county had adopted. And so that was the action that the council took, was to match the county fees as opposed to the county fees, except those 2 or 3 instances, or 4 or 5, or I mean it was, where they were asking for more from the city of Destin than they were from the county.
So it looks like we're increasing a lot of fees now, but you're possibly saying we should do it more than the county, but go ahead.
Correct. So in the initial email that we've sent you, actually, I'm not sure if it was presented to you, but basically we did a schedule with fees. That was the... those were, one of the sections was showing the current fees in Destin. The middle one, I believe, was showing the ones that are current by Okaloosa County. And then the third one is the one that we were proposing to be in Destin. It's really small amount, the difference that we are requesting between the county and Destin. For the Class A, the base fee, we're just asking to be a $30 difference between Destin and the county. There is a difference in the B class, which is for medium-duty trucks, and for the C class, which is for the heavy-duty trucks as well. Pretty much that's the only difference. There is not huge difference that we are asking to be money-wise between the county and the one that we believe should be applied for Destin, just because of the higher cost that we have to deal with.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, you're good there, Councilman Bagley?
Yeah, I was just going to answer Kevin's question. We looked at all the fees, we changed, we discussed, and we landed on the county fees to match the county fees, to raise the fees that we currently allowed to be charged. You know, a couple of things that were brought up in the open mic or the public input portion earlier. You know, our millage is the lowest in the county, okay, by far. And the fuel price, I get the fuel price because I just almost put $100 in my pickup truck, so I can imagine, and my wife put $90 in her car, so I can imagine what you guys are paying. But, you know, when it goes back down, eventually it'll go back down. When it goes back down, you won't be back here asking us to lower the fees. You'll just absorb whatever that cost is. And so I try not to do the little market fluctuation thing. I'm happy, so I'll go ahead and make the motion as it was presented to us and say, whoop, I had it, and then I didn't have it. There we go. Mayor, I move to adopt Resolution 26-12 as presented.
All right, and with a motion, we have Councilwoman Trammell with the second. Yep.
Yeah. So my confusion, and I apologize, is this resolution tonight was completely different than the resolution at the last meeting. And I didn't catch that during our agenda briefing. So thank you for pointing that out. And I will also say, while it might not be exactly what you're proposing, I think we do have pretty drastic increases from what we were doing. And I think that that's a pretty fair thing to do. Might not be exactly what you're proposing, but it seems like in some cases we're increasing 70, 80%. But thanks, clarity.
All right, thank you for that. Seeing nothing else on the board, we will call the vote. All right, ayes have it, 7-0, so moved. Thank you guys for being here. All right, capital projects.
Capital projects, item K, then the operations financial report, TDC monthly report, and minutes for information in case you have any questions or comments on any of those. Mr. Bagley.
I have one comment. I had a short-term rental person that approached me and said that their document was not correct, that it wasn't in Destin or whatever. So I would just ask that we make sure that the ones that are being captured in Destin or in the old thing are actually in the old thing. That's probably, I don't know if that's a Kevin ask of the TDC or if that's a staff ask of the clerk of the court, but if we could just check and see.
Okay.
All right, thank you. All right.
Then just a couple of announcements. Today was the date that our undergrounding contractor was supposed to be substantially complete on that project. They're not, and they will probably be contacting each of you with a request that they're going to come for you at the next council meeting asking for a 115-day extension based on the fact that FP&L entered into an agreement with our contractor to do some additional work that they apparently didn't design properly from the beginning, and somewhere October of last year they realized that we got a problem and began the process of trying to straighten out that problem. Brought it to our attention Wednesday of last week and actually sent us a letter late Thursday of last week, so we didn't have time to get on this agenda, but had some extensive conversation with FP&L and Mark Porter today of how some of these things may unravel, but you may hear from Bernard, someone from FP&L in the next few days to have some conversation with you about what that may look like. There's $1,500 a day liquidated damages in their contract, so just something to consider as we move forward. We held last Thursday evening, we held a contractor town hall meeting. Our staff did a good job presenting the process and procedures for pulling permits, how to go through the systems, the online portals to get those things done. We sent out about 500 invitations, and we had fewer than 500 attend that meeting. But I can tell you the ones that there had good things to say about our staff, and they actually said they preferred working with the city of Destin in their permitting process than most any other jurisdiction they had. And I'll ask Tina if she has anything to add to that.
Nothing further other than we always take feedback from all contractors, all customers in the city, and we are always working to make our processes better and easier.
And then my last announcement is at 446 Calhoun. We're moving forward with the permitting and DOs on that, so we'll hopefully have some items for you in the near future to begin that process.
Good evening. I only have one announcement for this evening. Monday, May 25th is Memorial Day, and the American Legion always does a really lovely celebration out at the Destin Cemetery on Stallman. So that will be at 11 a.m., and everyone is welcome to attend that. Thank you.
All right, appreciate you guys for those announcements. Getting to public hearings, Ms. Kopp.
Thank you, Mayor. This is ordinance number 2606LC, an ordinance of the City of Destin, Florida, renumbering the existing Article 11 of the Land Development Code as Article 7, changing the name of existing Article 11 Coastal Management and Conservation to Article 7 Resource Conservation, Protection, Resiliency, and Sustainability, adding the following existing sections of the Land Development Code to Article 7 Resource Conservation, Protection, Resiliency, and Sustainability. Section 70500, Protection and Preservation of Archaeological and Historic Resources. Section 71704, Outdoor lighting standards for the Marine Turtle Conservation Zone, and Section 72000, Small-Scale Alternative Energy Generation Regulations, providing for authority, providing for findings of fact, providing for incorporation into the Land Development Code, providing for conflicting provisions, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. This is the same ordinance you saw at the last meeting. You all tabled it on Councilmember Destin's motion to this meeting, which is why it has returned. However, since it was tabled, someone would have to make a motion to bring it back under Robert's rules.
All right, Councilwoman Trammell.
Well, I don't know if we're going to bring it back or not, but I just, I didn't read through the whole thing, but I didn't ask.
Yeah.
I guess I need to ask the question about the birds and the sound. Do we have that in here? We got marine turtles and we got lighting. Do we have sound and birds?
We need to bring it off the table if we want to talk about it.
I know, that's why I'll make a motion to bring it off the table so we can talk about it.
All right, I have a motion. I have a second by Councilman Bagby. All right, birds. You got a question?
Well, no.
Oh, I'm sorry, the vote on it, yeah. But what, a motion, a second doesn't get it? It doesn't get you nothing these days. All right, I'll call the vote. He's deliberating. All right, ayes have it, so moved. All right, now that we're back, hold your thought. This is a public hearing. As such, if anyone from the public wishes to speak on this topic, this would be your time to do so. All right, seeing none, we'll close the public comments. Ms. Trammell. I know, yeah, now we got the question. I mean, I don't know if they need it.
Okay, did we include birds and sound and noise and the thing that we just made a resolution about earlier tonight?
So sound would be covered in the Code of Ordinances, but yes, this article does cover significant environments and wildlife protection in 70106. And then under B specifically, it calls for a habitat management plan. Shall any of species that are endangered, threatened, or of special concern, the applicant would have to submit to us a management plan. They would have to submit to the FWC as well, and then that would have to include a field survey and recommendations, and then City Council may utilize this information to include conditions of approval.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to make sure we included our birds.
All right, thank you for that. All right, now with that, do I hear a motion for this ordinance?
I'll make a motion that we approve the ordinance with the exclusion of the section on any NPEB, and then we refer that back to the...
Oh, shoot, yeah, I thought you were on.
I love that thing.
I know you do.
I'll move that we approve the ordinance, but that we take out the section addressing NPEB and we send that back to our committees and staff to make a further recommendation that I think would be more acceptable and fix some of the problems I see with this per slip fee cost.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
All right, second by Councilman Morgan. Any further discussions? Councilman Schmidt.
Go ahead.
All right, Councilman Schmidt.
Anybody else was trying to jump in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Was there a problem with the staff proposal number 3, since you want to bring it back to staff and committees, and these are kind of combined thought that are impacting the harbor on a large scale, which are the commercial slips, and they're going to do it based upon the activity and the amount of slips? I mean, it seems like a very well thought proposal.
It is. My problem with it is generally institute policies based on input from somebody other than the staff. I always welcome their input, but the folks who are going to be affected by this have not really spoken up. The other thing I would point out is that this is instituting a fee with no resolution. Usually when we do fees, whether it be recreational or any other type, after we say, yeah, we're going to do this, then we do a resolution where people get to have an opportunity to comment on it. When we do it this way, it's not happening like that. And, you know, in my opinion, it runs afoul of the single subject rules that the state of Florida says we should adhere to when we make changes like this. It should be separate and be a standalone change. So that's why I say that we need to refer it back and then bring an ordinance forward that addresses the NEPB and have people come and tell us what they think. Because as you can see, you know, some of these fees could go up to $2,500 to $10,000 a year on slips that are actually theoretically owned by the state of Florida, that we lease from the state of Florida and already pay rather substantial amounts on. So I'd just like to see a little more consideration and some input from the public, the folks who are actually going to pay these fees.
All right. Anything further, Councilman Schmidt? All right. Councilman Morgan.
Thank you. Yeah, I'd be hard pressed to implement or levy a new tax on Destin. Hundreds of Destin residents and businesses. My second meeting here, especially one that I've seen no public input on. And they might have had it at the LPA, but I doubt it. I've been to those board meetings and they're not very robust with the public, sort of like we are at 8:45 at night. But I think it'll be one of those things we'll pass and we're going to have a lot of angry people coming towards us. That's my take. And
just to clarify again, we're just updating a 1987 ordinance, just changing the fee base from 25% of construction, which is very prohibitive, to something that would be more affordable.
Yeah, I'd be inclined to remove the 25% fee as well.
Councilman Bagby?
Yeah, I mean, it's been to the Harbor Board twice. It's been to the LPA 3 times. And in one of the probably the most unusual vote I've ever seen up here at the last meeting, where we voted down the staff recommendation and the LPA's recommendation, and then we turned around and voted down the alternative, I guess. The problem I have, at some point, we've been working on this for over 2 years, And like I said, it's been to the LPA more than 3 times, and it's been to the Harbor Board at least twice. What I would say is we need to do something, because the 25%, I agree with you. The 25% is onerous, and it just causes people to misrepresent how much they're spending to replace their docks and their slips. And the LPA, and I think he told us, Mike, even supported, their number one alternative or their number one option it failed last time 3-4, and then we, like I said, turned around and killed the alternative to that. But it doesn't abate any fees. We still have the 25%. And I think if we actually went down there and enforced that 25%, we would have a lot of people in here screaming for us to adopt number one. Because if we actually went down there and started looking at bills of lading and looking at actually what people are actually spending, they would acknowledge that option proposal number one, whatever it's called, LPA proposal number one, is by far and away the best idea. It's the fairest, it's the simplest. So I'm going to do a substitute motion. I'm going to agree that we pass the resolution, whatever we're doing. But integrate LPA proposal number 1 as
I'll second
part of
that.
that.
Hey, look at there. Oh, man, I missed my mic. All right, I have a substitute motion on the floor from Councilman Bagby, seconded by Councilwoman Trammell. Councilman Schmidt, did you?
Yeah, I just,
wanna jump
for
in?
Mr. Destin, maybe Mr. Morgan, but this is 1986, 7. The funding issue is real, I guess, in the maintenance and the harbor quality, the quality of the water, the pump, all that. Like Mr. Bagby said, it's been discussed at least 5 different total meetings. What do you do then to help support the quality of the harbor and the waterways if we don't do, because if somebody comes to apply, they will be paying 25%, right? I mean, we're enforcing that now, right? So what do we do to help?
How much money roughly do we need to support the harbor pump annually?
The electricity alone for the harbor pump is about $30,000 a year. $60,000 a year would also cover all the water quality testing that we do with Choctawhatchee Basin Alliance and the water analytics.
So 90 is roughly where we're at.
60 would be the sweet spot, and
Yeah,
that would also
so-
save up a little bit to maintain the harbor pump as it has.
Yeah, I would
repaired.
argue those waterfront properties on the harbor that we're looking at taxing, we're already taxing with the 25% fee that we really can't enforce, and nobody's being honest on it. But I would argue that their ad valorem tax dollars should fund the $90,000. I mean, we can, 60,000, I'm sure we can find $60,000 from our property taxes.
And my response to that question is, our main problem here is we've not been enforcing the rule we had. And to pass another rule, because you didn't enforce the first rule, is never a really good standard for government action. And
Yeah, I don't.
This is here before us tonight because some guy finally got hit with his fee and paid $90,000 and has been griping ever since then. That's why it's here tonight. If we would enforce the rules we have in effect, we would raise that money easily. So, we didn't do our job. We didn't enforce our rules, so let's pass another rule.
All right, I have the substitute on the floor, and without any further comments, we will call the vote. Three, wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh, 4. Okay. All right, so everyone stood their ground from the previous. All right, so we're back to the previous motion with Councilman Destin and Abear? Who seconded? Or Morgan, oh, sorry.
Morgan.
Yep. All right, so we're back to the previous. Any further discussions? Seeing none. Yep.
I'd like the staff to brief us at the next meeting on steps you're taking to actually enforce the rule on the book, because I agree with what was just said. It would more than pay for itself, because there would be several $90,000 checks, and if that's what our rules are, by God, let's enforce them.
Yeah, my last on that would also be with Mr. Morgan here saying the 25 is insane. I think we need to be encouraging people to renovate their docks, not hold out every board until it completely breaks. So I definitely see there needs to be a different formula, and so I agree with that. So,
So just to be clear, because the city manager was asking me a question and to make sure that you all knew what you were about to vote on, but this motion would take the MPEB out of the ordinance, so there would not be a 25% in the meantime. It would be gone.
If I may, I would modify the motion to leave it in place as it is and ask the staff to come back and give us a report, as Mr. Bagby
Okay,
said.
thank you for clarifying.
Okay, Councilman Braden?
Thank you, Mayor. I wasn't here, so can somebody refresh my memory as why the council opted not to charge Point Mezzanine any type of fees on their docks? The marina they put in?
I think you were here. It was,
that was approved a long before.
Yeah, I wasn't here. I didn't approve that project, the marina. I wasn't here.
Kim, I think you do have background. I remember you briefing me on this. It's a question about
Now
Point
I'm going to
Mezzanine.
go from memory, but
I
I
know.
know that in 2018, and Councilmember Morgan and Councilmember Braden were here, when they came to the council, and it was Matt Trammell representing Point Mezzanine, they came forward with an offer to pay their MPEB plus a little bit of extra. It was somewhere in the range of over $600,000 to the city, and the city council had declined it at that time because they did not want to even approve the docks anyway. And so that money was instead paid to the Trust for Public Land and was to be used for city parks. So they paid, but we did not put it towards the harbor because council rejected it, not wanting the docks, and it was put towards parks.
I thought it was Captain Leonard. Yeah.
600,000 would have paid quite a few years, wouldn't it? And that's the problem with how we're administering this rule.
All right. So I think Councilman Destin was making a clarification to what we just voted on. To keep the 25%, and he just wanted to clarify that that was the intent. So I think you can cancel his motion. It was to describe what we just voted on. Is that correct?
I think his motion was to pass everything but that section,
Okay.
section
Yeah.
7.03.
But if Mr. Morgan could go along, we could leave that in place if the staff will bring back to us. The motion originally was to pass it and leave it out and have the staff come back to us. If you feel more comfortable with leave it in and have the staff come back to us, at least we've still got something in place.
No, I'm fine with your amendment to your motion.
Yeah.
But just to clarify, are we passing every section except for 7.03?
I was going to
Oh.
substitute in that we're leaving the NEPB in and asking the staff. In other words, we're passing all of it, but we're telling staff to bring us back a report on how we plan to enforce the actual section itself.
All right, good deal. All right, so we can strike all that.
25%.
Just still there.
Kim,
Yes.
Just to be clear, the 25% will remain in place, and you're asking us to come back with a plan to implement that 25% effectively. Okay.
Yeah.
And I think we've taken some steps to do some of those things, so we'll apply that as well.
All right, good deal. All right, Ms. Kopp.
We gotta vote, man.
Oh, we got to vote for?
Do I get
Oh,
seven
okay, I
votes,
thought-
Mayor?
There's a motion and a second. You gotta do something.
Okay, I thought we were, all right, fair enough. All right, we'll call the vote. That was my fault, Lisa. All right, ayes have it, so moved, 6-1. Ms. Kopp.
Okay, so for 5B, 5C, and 5D, we're going to, if everybody's okay with it, do these together because they are all amending the same definition of beach. And I'll explain which is which, and we're going to read all three titles, but one of them is for the Code of Ordinances, one of them is for the LDC, and one of them is for the comp plan. And what we're trying to do is, the definition currently provides that the beach goes to the low mean water line. Our charter provides that the city's jurisdiction ends at the mean high water line in the Gulf of Mexico, and so we would just match up these definitions of beach with the charter. So it will now say mean high instead of mean low. Gulf of America. Sorry, sir, you are correct. Okay, so I will go ahead and read the three titles. So first, we have ordinance number 2616 LC. This is the one for the Land Development Code. An ordinance of the City of Destin, Florida, amending Article 3 definitions and Article 11 coastal management and conservation of the Land Development Code to amend the definition of beach for consistency with the jurisdictional limits set forth within the city charter, providing for authority, providing for findings of fact, providing for incorporation into the Land Development Code, providing for conflicting provisions, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. This is first reading. Next is ordinance number 2617 LC, but it should say CC, so that looks like a typo. It should be 2617 CC, an ordinance of the City of Destin, Florida, amending Section 14203 of the Code of Ordinances to amend the definition of beach for consistency with the jurisdictional limits set forth within the city charter, providing for authority, providing for findings of fact, providing for incorporation into the Land Development Code, providing for conflicting provisions, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. That's first reading. And finally, ordinance number 2618 PC. This is the comprehensive plan amendment. An ordinance of the City of Destin, Florida, amending Chapter 13 glossary of the city's comprehensive plan to amend the definition of beach for consistency with the jurisdictional limits set forth within the city charter, providing for authority, providing for findings of fact, providing for incorporation into the comprehensive plan, providing for conflicting provisions, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. This is also first reading, and please have a public hearing on all three.
Thank you. So at this time, if anyone wishes to speak on ordinance 2616 CC, this is your time to do so. Or do we want me to do one at a time and close them?
The public hearing should be for 2616 LC, 2617 CC, and 2618 PC, amending the definition of beach in the LDC code and comp plan.
All right, thank you for that. If anyone is here wishing to speak on any of those topics, this is your time to do so. Seeing none, we'll close the public comments for each of those ordinances, and I'll entertain a motion at this time from council. All right, Councilwoman Trammell.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve ordinance 26-16 LC, 26-17 CC, and 26-18 PC on first reading and bring it back for second reading.
All right, thank you for that.
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman Hebert. Any further discussions? Seeing none, we'll open the vote. All right, ayes have it, so moved, 7-0. Ms. Kopp.
Thank you, Mayor. And just to let you know, we'll take those three back, not at the next meeting, because with the comprehensive plan amendment, we have to wait 30 days, but then we'll bring them all back together. Final ordinance of tonight is ordinance 2513 PC, an ordinance of the City of Destin, Florida, making transportation-related amendments to Chapter 1, Future Land Use Element, Chapter 2, Transportation Element, Chapter 9, Capital Improvements Element, Chapter 12, Administration, and Chapter 13, Glossary of the City's Comprehensive Plan, deleting the Multimodal Transportation District, providing for goals, objectives, and policy relating to the City Mobility Plan and City Mobility Fees, providing for transmittal to the Florida Department of Commerce, providing for incorporation into the Comprehensive Plan, providing for a business impact estimate, providing for conflicting provisions, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. This is an administrative ordinance that you're hearing on second reading. Again, because the state of Florida needed us to readopt it due to timing with the EAR.
All right, thank you for that and the clarification. If anyone from the public wishes to speak on ordinance 2513 PC, this is your time to do so. Seeing none, we'll close the public comments, and I'll entertain a motion at this time from council. All right, Councilwoman Trammell.
Mayor, I'll make the motion that we adopt ordinance 25-13-PC on second reading.
All right, I have a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All right, with a second, seeing no further discussions, we'll call the vote. Ayes have it, 7-0, so moved. Councilman Braden.
Thank you, Mayor. City Manager, why do we not have any type of plan in place for going around the city and checking our sidewalks? Seems like we're getting sued left and right for these trip and falls. I know there's several. I sent you one not long ago in front of Lockwood's house on Indian Bayou that had been there. It was raised up a lot more than the pictures we saw tonight that the lady tripped over, and had been there for, had to be several years. We also got a pine tree in Kel Air that's been there for over 15 years, growing into the road. It's got the road all messed up. So I'm just wondering why we don't have anything in place to go around once or twice a year and check our sidewalks for these trip and fall hazards. Is it because the council hasn't adopted something, or?
I'm not sure there's anything been adopted, but I can ask Michael if we have a standard policy, and if not, we'd certainly get one in place.
Sure, Councilman Braden, we have about 70 miles of sidewalk, a little over. We do a citywide assessment every 2 years for that. Work orders are generated for abrupt grade changes, cracked sidewalks, things like that, as well as the ability for our citizens and staff to report those to us directly. So we just finished a round of sidewalk grinding not 2 months ago, where I think we did over 100 adjustments.
Okay. And I can only speak to Indian Bayou because I see it quite often. They come through there and they grind a spot down. Sometimes they get it level, sometimes they don't. And it's generally where pine trees or something are growing, lifting the sidewalk up. And 6 months later, it's almost right back to where the ones that I've witnessed are almost right back to where it was before they started grinding it. So if we're looking at that sidewalk every 2 years, it's going 1.5 years for a trip and fall hazard. So particularly where the trees are growing and the sidewalks raised up, there's a lot of places, like I say, I can only speak to anybody. I think that sidewalk needs to be taken out and the roots need to be cut or something, because just grinding it down, and I could take you to several that they've ground on more than twice because it keeps rising up. Fix the problem instead of just keep grinding on it, and 6 months later is another trip hazard. So it just seems like we're getting sued left and right over somebody tripping over a half-inch thing. And I know we got, 70 miles or whatever sidewalk, but we got to come up with a better plan of maintaining them or doing something, because we're just getting sued too much over simple stuff. So if we can't do it, then we need to hire somebody that can do it, or maintain them, or somebody go around and check them somehow, somewhere. I don't know, maybe code compliance can take their blinders off and go around and check them every once in a while. So other than that, that's all I got tonight, Mayor.
All right, thank you, sir. Councilwoman Trammell.
Yes, I just wanted to answer Mr. Braden here. Public Works and Safety does review. They have in their goals and objectives for the year to review their section. Each person is assigned a section within that. So if there's sidewalks there, they review those as well. The other thing I have tonight is it's on Kelly Street, and I'm not sure of the house number, but it's right where that giant skeleton is sitting. I believe the oak tree is dead that is in the sidewalk, so I think that needs to be removed.
We are already working that issue right there. We have to get approval, express written permission from the Commissioner of Baseball and the city manager to remove any trees within the right-of-way. We're on it. We're on it.
Okay, thank you.
I think we know them. Councilman Destin.
Thank you, Mayor. City Manager, as we move forward to talk to our underground and utility contractor about extending their time and for power and light, as best I can tell, there are no outlets planned for Harbor Boulevard in Fort Walton. When they did some of their utility work, they asked or required that outlets be put in so they can run their Christmas lights and whatever other decorations they want to put. As we go forward to try to cut them some slack on that issue, we need to talk to them about trying to put in some outlets so we could actually have Christmas lights or whatever other things we want to put on Harbor Boulevard as we go forward. You can check the contract. I'm pretty sure it's not in there, but we need to talk to them about doing that before we get all through with this. Other than that, that's all I have.
When I read wisdom in that resolution, that is it right there.
Ray, thank you. My daughters want to personally thank you and for your mentorship of our youth council, which, you know, I know is not the primary purpose of your job, but you've made the difference in a lot of young lives who now are not quite so young. A couple of them are older than Bobby, so that's
That ain't saying much.
Well, that's true. But it has been a pleasure and an honor to serve with you, and I wish you well. Happy birthday, City Manager. And I just want to thank the staff, particularly Tina and her folks, for getting Inspired down. I was sincere when I made the comment when he was here. You know, that's what we have to do because we're going to have a rough couple of years here with the budget, probably. So, thank you.
All right, Councilwoman Aber.
Thanks, Mayor. I want to ditto what Mr. Bagby just said. Ray, you've been an absolute treasure to the city for the last 10, 15 years. You're always helpful and so knowledgeable and patient with all the asks that you get from us, no matter whether we're on committees or on the dais, as well as all the city staff. So thank you for everything. We appreciate you and hope you enjoy your retirement. I'm sure your wife will. Happy birthday, Larry. And speaking to that, we are going to go to the League of Cities in August down in Hollywood. There's a few of us on the dais. I don't know if you've made it as our team member, as our city leader, our city manager rather, for any of the League of Cities. But do I need to make a motion or to request that you attend this one in August this year? Is there anything official, or can I just suggest that you be part of the team that goes to this year's League of Cities meeting?
Be more than happy to go unless there's an objection from council.
Any objections to Larry going to the League of Cities? I don't think so. We'll see you.
So were
there.
you working with Waste Management when they used to do the old Death by Chocolate?
I went to many of them as a county commissioner. Yeah.
Ah.
Do they still do them for the city?
No, they don't do them anymore.
No,
but,
Waste Pro's the new party spot.
But do they bring Rocky and the Rollers? That's the only question that matters.
Yeah, right. I don't know.
And then the last thing that I want to say is, Tina, thank you to your team of code enforcement. I have had a very pleasant last couple of weeks. I've not had to take any trash cans from the street to the other side of the sidewalk, and it's been amazing. And I know those guys are doing it because they're on the other side of the sidewalk. They're not residents that have taken them back to their homes. So tell you guys, it's very appreciated. And I know the guy that said, you move this trash can again, I'm going to call the cops. Tell him it was me. And please call me, and I'll bring Jason with me to his house to complain.
I know the cops.
Okay? But thank you, and thank you to your team. I know it's a challenge, but really appreciate what they do.
Thank you. I'll pass it along to them.
All right, Councilmember Morgan.
Thank you, Mr. Bagby. I take full responsibility for the confusing vote at the last meeting. I was, in my defense, I had not had an agenda briefing, and I was told by Ms. Kopp that it was going to be an easy meeting, and I thought muscle memory would get me through. And about midway through what we were discussing, I was completely lost, and I figured it was just safe to vote no on everything. So try not to let it happen again. Yeah, just saying that was, yeah, so that was me, and I apologize.
Guess I should have defined easy.
Yeah. Anyways, Mr. Bailey, we've had a lot of, in a city with a lot of changes constantly in the boards and in the staff, we would have a lot of hard, long meetings, and I could always look over there and there was stability. You're a consummate professional. You're a kind person. You approach your job. You're really, really good at your job, and it's been really apparent that you care a lot about it. And if more people approach their jobs like that, it'd be a much better place. So thanks, and I'll miss you.
Councilman Schmidt.
Yes, thank you. A few questions. We've had a few complaints about a waste management garbage can issue at Gulf Breeze Court. Has that been worked out with anybody particular over there with 8 to 10 garbage cans always blocking somebody's driveway?
It has been worked out. What we did is we,
Do you want to hear it or no? It actually was.
If it worked out, we're good to go. Everybody said it worked out, so that's
We
good.
did a complete change
It's all
on
good.
how
Thank you for
trash
working it
was
out.
picked up there.
Thank you for working it out. All right. Job well done. Miss Abear and code, proactive code enforcement. We've talked about proactive code enforcement, I think, often. Not sure if everybody believes in proactive code enforcement. I know I do. That's what brought the gentleman here tonight to get a livery vessel registration, because we were proactively on the harbor enforcing things. There's been questions and comments from community members and maybe some council members about why are we going out and doing things in the city and making a big deal about it. Well, it's proactive enforcement, I believe, or it's education. So are we still working on the education piece in the future about how to make certain areas of the town better? Is that something I think we were talking about or we were working on, about educating some different things? Is that like a still work in progress?
There is a big education component with code compliance. Our first goal is always to try and educate if we can before we go into having to give someone a violation. And speaking of the trash cans, we did just do a part of that campaign was sticking the educational stickers on the trash cans to let people know, hey, try not to leave your trash cans in the street. So
Right.
that's always our first goal, is to educate. And
We got wonderful flyers mailed to us about if you have an idea in the city, or if you have a project, or I forget what the wording was. I'm not sure if that came from Tamra. It was about if you have a suggestion about certain things. Is there a follow-up to that flyer that went out? Like, are we receiving anything from people? Was that a code suggestion? Was that to make the city prettier?
Yeah, that was something Public Information put out, and then the suggestions go directly to the various sites, particularly code was the focus of that
Have we
one.
gotten any?
I'm not sure if we've received any specific feedback from that. I think that might have gone out before I was on board. Do we
Very
know how long
possible.
ago that went out?
Could we check
Okay.
into that
I can-
flyer
I can
outreach
check into
program?
that.
Because I love getting that in the mail. And if people are providing feedback, I would love to.
Yes, we
Use
can
it.
definitely. We'll look into
Okay.
that and see what feedback we've gotten.
That'd be great. Last thing, Mr. Fitzgerald came. I think Ms. Trammell, you're the legislative sponsor. I've never seen a more thorough public presentation with a Vimeo under 3 minutes exactly. He met the 3-minute deadline as well. I understand, I think we got the easements at the last 2 to 4 weeks ago, so I know there's progress being made, but his request about what's been happening, do you have anything, or do the city staff maybe have anything? Is there anything?
The status is that staff is doing the inspections now, and we informed Councilmember Trammell, and she was good with this plan, that when they were done, we were going to meet internally with her to fill her in, and then discuss.
Do we know the timeline of the inspections and when that will be taking place?
We would have to ask the city engineer.
So I'm going to be going out as I compile all the information into the report that I'm working on, and just to verify certain information's out there. So within the timeline that was prescribed.
Right, which is from now to July 4th, they have that time period. By July 4th, inspections would be complete.
Okay. I appreciate the update.
And they went out in the rain.
All right, thank you, Councilman Schmidt. I've already said my piece with Mr. Ray Bay over there, so I won't belabor that. And it sounds like we're going to have a legislative sponsor for the $5 parking, so I'll just nip my idea in the butt, and we'll just wait for this idea to get through the season, see how it works, and we'll go from there. So with that, public comments. Oh, I'm so sorry.
You know, I really just wanted to say something to Ray.
Yeah, you know
'cause
what? I
he's
wanna
one
hear you
of
say
the
something to Ray.
Very few people that has been here. I mean, I've been working with Ray for 10 years, and there's not that many staff that has been around that long. But Ray, I will miss you. I know we are in great hands with your successor, but we'll miss you, and we will never forget some of our very interesting records issues. And you know what I'm talking about, and we won't mention names.
Sounds like a book to write in your retirement time.
There's been all kinds of things, depositions. And
All right, sorry about that. All right, now public comments.
Now wait 2 weeks for 6 minutes. So here's what I'm going to speculate. Okay? From now till July 4th, the report that's going to come back to council is we think we should engage a third party to figure out how we're going to go through resolutions. You know, that's what I'm going to speculate. And then we're going to go another 60, 90 days waiting for them to come back. This is having real impacts. It's having real impacts on the property. You have tens of thousands of people coming down here. I've had 3 prospective buyers on the property in the last 2 weeks since the last council meeting. This has been sitting there for a period of time. This is not caused, this is a private property. You know what's interesting, as you just talked about some of the other issues with the harbor pumps, okay? I'll tell you a little story in the council meetings. You can all go back and look at it, okay? When Indian Trail Estates and Indian Woods was approved, okay? The council sat there and they said very simply, we'll approve this if you get your permit. Guess what? That permit was applied for the same day as that council meeting, and it was withdrawn a week later. Those houses were built. Everything was occurring without a permit. Nothing ever happened. Okay? It just happened. Okay? Those builders bought one parcel that dumped all the water down through there that ended up at the culvert. Guys, I've got all the data. I don't know what we're studying. I don't know what soil samples are going to tell you. Okay? It doesn't matter to me what happened upstream. Okay? What's coming out of that culvert is causing impacts to this property. I mean, there's no question. I mean, I sat here, I put together everything. So I would just ask council to really look at what the situation is you're looking at. Let's figure out a resolution and get it resolved. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, anyone else? Seeing none, adjourned.